You know them and they know you're not coming from a
Right, that place.
My uncle is the assistant chief now. Yeah.
Where's my mic? That's not. Yeah, thanks. Oh, no, that's not it, but that'll do. How do we lose them? Oh, that's it right there. Not bad.
You want to swap them? Go for it. Oh, you know what? I got that in my camera room.
Oh, okay, leave it on them.
This thing should be charged by now.
Oh, go ahead. Let's see. Are they dying?
No, yours should be fully charged. His was.
Officer after falling into a canal and fighting for his life against the strong current. The man who was alive said he heard someone yelling help. He turned and saw the man in the water. It happened near Oak and 24th Street early Thursday morning. When a BPD officer arrived, he threw his dog down so the man would have something to hold on to. He was pulled out of the water. Later, after the firefighters arrived, he is alive because a good neighbor and a BPD officer were in the right place at the right time. I'm Bill Robbins in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour or when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
What do you think? This is the army where you shoot them a mile away? You gotta get up close like this. Little ping, you blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit.
It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Now make sure you beat the house when you make the call. You understand me? You hear me? Call from an outside line. I mean it.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant good afternoon to you, wherever you may be, however you may be listening or viewing, subscribing at YouTube, Kern Radio. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on a Friday. We got a busy broadcast on this 18th day of July. Chris Burdick producing the broadcast, and we've got a couple of guests this afternoon. As you well know, Rick Bentley joins us at the bottom of the hour. We will talk about politics. I'm going to actually interview Mr. Bentley today. I've got some things I'd like to ask him. They're making political hay about Stephen Colbert getting axed at CBS. They're tying it to the merger that CBS is currently involved in, or actually Paramount is involved in. And even Pocahontas in the Senate has brought this up. We'll talk about that with Mr. Bentley. Nick Ragone joins us as per usual. Day 2 of the Open at Royal Portrush. And ain't nobody gonna catch Scotty Scheffler. Have I done it again?
You had to do it, didn't you?
I don't think so. I think Scotty Scheffler is mush proof. I think he's mush proof because I'm saying it. Ain't nobody gonna beat Scotty Scheffler. I think he's mush proof. He's mush proof. God, wouldn't that be funny if he's got like a 2-shot lead at 17 on Sunday and he makes a triple bogey on 18 or something?
You're getting so many.
That
Should have taken the bet with Caitlin Clark too.
what?
That she would win the 3-point contest because I'd be.
Oh, I wouldn't have paid that.
I didn't know.
You can't. No, if you don't participate, you can't lose. No, I would know. We would have gone at it about that, Jack. I wish you had a bet because that's 30 minutes of content right there, boy. Because we'd have gone back and forth. There's no way you can't lose if you don't participate. Now, if you withdraw, if she had tried to participate and then had to pull out, and there's a joke there, but I ain't touching it. But if that's the case, then I lose. But if you don't even sign up, if you're not in the race, you can't lose. What you talking about, Willis?
I don't know. But okay, I get you.
And Governor Newsom is suing Donald Trump. As most of you know, the White House announced yesterday that they are not sending $4 billion to this ridiculous train to nowhere, as even the president is now calling it. We'll talk a little bit about that and what the cursing Gavin Newsom has to say about that. Has anybody seen the video of Gavin Newsom on somebody's podcast swearing like a sailor every other word? He really honestly thinks that makes him tough or somehow makes him different, and his positions have gone right to the center, which is typical of smart politicians. Bill Clinton did it masterfully in the 90s, but it's just, no. I don't know much, and maybe this is a Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton prediction of 2015 when they said Trump will never be president, but Gavin Newsom will never be president of the United States, at least not in 2028, in my opinion. Well, we'll see about that. And we'll talk a little sports. Dodger season gets back underway tonight, taking on the Brewers. Tyler Glasnow takes the bump for the Dodgers, heading into the final half of the season with a 5.5-game lead over the Stinky Smellies and 6 games over the Padres. And the whole Kiss Cam story has absolutely exploded. I ignored it when it broke because I didn't think it was, I was talking about it with Randy and I was like, it's not going to make my rundown. But now it's under investigation of the company Astronomer, and if you don't know, and I'm shocked if you don't, and by the way, if I look different, I am not in my chair. My chair is over there, but I didn't have time to get it. I feel like a little dwarf in this chair. It's just so weird when you sit in somebody else's chair and you have a chair that you sit in every day for 12 years. Well, no, not 12 years because we haven't been in these studios for 12 years. Anyway, so if you haven't seen this story, it's a Coldplay concert. And as they do at stadiums, they just randomly pick a couple who's obviously a couple and they have a kiss cam. And that means that the couple has to turn and kiss one another. And there's some classic. Have you ever seen some of the compilations? Like there was one where they thought the two people were a couple and they weren't. So dude goes to kiss her and she slaps the crap out of him. Like, I don't know, you fool. I don't know why I made her a black girl, but he smacks the crap out of it. So Anyway, so they go to the kiss cam in a suite, and it's the CEO of this company called Astronomer and the human resources gal, and they're all hugged up. They're all cozy. And as soon as they realize they're on the Megatron, my man is like, oh, Lord. And she's like, ah. And there's a third person who's like, oh, my God. Oh, Well, it became a big deal because the announcer, I think, appropriately said, either they're incredibly shy or they're having an affair. And like a mushroom cloud in social media, this thing blew up. Well, now there's an investigation. And the woman that sold the tickets to them from the company that gave them the tickets, she just got whacked. And she's like, why am I the pigeon in this thing? I didn't know they were having an affair. I just gave 2 employees tickets. Can you get rid of a CEO? I don't think you can get rid of CEO. You can't get rid of CEO. But the HR woman, they call her the chief people officer. 21st century. Just can't call her the HR person. Can't call her human resources. She's the chief people person. Well, she was. She was when the so-called investigation concludes. You can't fire the CEO, but you can certainly fire the HR woman who's hugged up with a married man. They're both married. So we'll talk about that. But I begin with my argument of the day. And I'm sorry that you're going to have to hear it twice because I'm going to make it with Nick Ragone. Here's my argument of the day. You'll like this, Mr. Sports Guy. Should I take a break? Let's take a break because my butt is just really uncomfortable right now. Let's take a quick break and I'll come back with my argument of the day. Here's my argument. Here's my thesis. And I'll make my case, my 5-paragraph essay when we return. Oral Leonard Hershiser IV's 1988 season was the single greatest season by any Major League Baseball player in the history of Major League Baseball. I will say it again. Oral Leonard Hershiser IV's 1988 championship season is the single greatest season in Major League Baseball history. Not in Dodger history, not in National League history, in the history of baseball. And when we come back, I will make my argument. And unfortunately, if you're hanging around, you'll get here again because I'm going to break it down and hear what Ragone, the genius, has to say about it. We'll talk with him just in a couple of minutes. Round 2 of the Open Championship, and Scotty Scheffler has a 2-shot lead. He's 10 under par for the championship. And I believe Matt Fitzgerald is at 8 because I think he made bogey on 18. I'm not sure. I'll check the board before I make my Oral Hershiser thesis when we come back. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, do I do KC?
You got one?
I can play one, yeah.
Yeah, please.
Lines are forming up. ICE agents and activists, legislators and lawyers on both sides. What is the immigration situation going forward? We're finding out more every day.
And so many stories to catch you up on Monday. Our tariffs, cost of inflation, a couple of wars to look at, all the different stuff. We'll have the latest on the next Armstrong and Getty.
Weekdays, noon to 2 on 96.1 and AM 1180.
Ah, much better.
I know.
Much better.
JR for Bakersfield weight loss. Do you want to know the secret to resetting your metabolism so you can get your excess weight off and keep it off? The secret is Bakersfield weight loss. I've been working out for years, cutting calories and not seeing the scale move. It was because of my metabolism. That's what sets the Bakersfield weight loss program apart from others. They help you stop the yo-yo dieting and reset your metabolism to burn calories faster and keep your weight off for good. You may have tried the GLP-1s like semaglutide injections to lose weight, only to find out that you had terrible side effects and you didn't lose much weight. And if you did, you just gained it all back after going off the drugs. It's time to take control of your metabolism and end the cycle of weight gain and frustration. The Bakersfield Weight Loss Program helped me reset my metabolism, and I lost 25 pounds last year, and I've kept it off. This program has helped over 70,000 people lose weight by resetting their metabolism to keep their weight off for good. Schedule that free consultation today by calling 661-449-1150 or online at bakersfieldweightloss.com. Results may vary.
Okay, I know. Casey's Steakhouse closed on 4th of July, but they'll certainly be back open this weekend. And after barbecuing or going to somebody's house on Friday, you're certainly not going to want to cook. Why not head to F Street and have one of the best steaks you'll have ever. Or stop by the Stockyard next door. You know, at the Battle of the Bartenders, I found that a lot of you have gone to Casey's Steakhouse.
What's wrong?
And aren't even aware.
Move the
of
camera, Big
Stockyard
Daddy.
next door.
Oh, sorry.
Type bar, the Cassie
They couldn't see you.
It's been
Thank
a
God we-
All right, thank you.
I'm watching you,
dinner.
man.
Thank you.
Grab cocktails.
I'm gonna have to move it.
It is a
Oh,
banquet.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can have meetings there. You can have election night parties, as Kathy Abernathy does. It is a great venue and a great place to have a cocktail after dinner in the main restaurant where Jimmy and Bobby are playing live music. And there's an acoustic guitar player in the Stockyard as well. Casey's Steakhouse, longtime sponsors of the Ralph Bailey Show.
With everything happening in the world today, escalating global conflicts, shaky supply chains, and unstable power grid, millions of Americans are taking action now instead of waiting for the next crisis. That's why My Patriot Supply is offering an exclusive deal on their best-selling 3-month emergency food kit. This kit provides over 2,000 calories a day for 3 months. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, and drinks included. It's packaged right here in the USA, packed in sturdy, stackable tubs, and lasts up to 25 years in storage. And it ships fast and free, so you can be prepared within days. But the exclusive offer ends soon, so head to mypatriotsupply.com/radio and take advantage while it's still available. Whether it's a long-term crisis or a short-term disruption, food security equals peace of mind. Head over to mypatriotsupply.com/radio. Again, that's mypatriotsupply.com/radio. Grab your 3-month emergency food kit today.
The Charlie Kirk Show, weekdays at 6 p.m. on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show.
Feet don't fail me now. You know, this is not going to be a layup for Scotty Scheffler. He's got a one-shot lead on Matt Fitzgerald, who's the Great Britain, the United Kingdom, the English player. English golfer has not won the British Open since, I think, 94. And Nick Faldo. Brian Harman is 2 shots off the lead, along with Haikandi Lee. And there are a bunch of players that I've never heard of, to be honest with you. Gotterup, who's an American, at 5, a couple other players. All right, here is my thesis on Orel Hershiser and the single greatest season in Major League Baseball history. Ask Randizzle will give you a break, and let's pay attention to the broadcast for a minute, please. Here is my argument. He went 23-8 with an ERA of 2.19. He had 15 complete games. He had 8 shutouts. He had 267 innings pitched. And he won the Cy Young. All right? That's the regular season.
Okay.
That's the regular season. Not really that extraordinary, but certainly for today, 15 complete games, I'd be willing to bet that Paul Skeeter doesn't have 15 complete games in his career when it's all said and done. That's just the regular season. A very underdog 88 team that was really not that good. Franklin Stubbs was our first baseman. Saxey was our second baseman. An old Alfredo Griffin was our shortstop. Mike Marshall was our right fielder. I can't even remember who our T-Bone. John Shelby was our center fielder. Have you heard of any of these people? Who? Who I just mentioned have you heard of? And who else?
I mean, again, outside of that.
Okay.
I mean, again,
That's what I'm saying.
Historian, as you.
But well, that's not the point. It was a no-name team. Shelby in center, and the only person that you've ever heard of other than Steve Sachs and I'm doubting you know about Steve Sachs, but it was Kirk Gibson in left field, who had 29 home runs. 29 home runs. That's decent. That ain't, Big Dumper's got 38. We're halfway there. In the NLCS against the New York Mets, he wins game 1, he wins game 3, and then when we have nobody in the bullpen, and I can't remember his name, he was a left-handed pitcher. He pitched for the Mets. He won the World Series for the Mets in '86. And then he came to us. Somebody chime in. Who am I talking about? He's the left-hander. He pitched for the Mets. He throws his glove up when the Mets won, and then we had him for a while. Well, Tommy was not happy with his performance, and Tommy had to bring him in reluctantly, and he walks the first 2 batters to load the bases. And our starter, because it's 1 o'clock in the morning, our starter is at the hotel in Manhattan getting ready, and there's nobody left. And Hershiser secretly starts warming up, and he tells Mark Cressy, the bullpen coach, that Tommy told him to warm up, which was an absolute lie. And so he warms up, and Cressy calls down and says, "Hey, Tommy, did you tell Orel to start warming up?" He's like, "No, he pitched last night. He had 116 pitches." Well, he's ready. How's he look? Better than he did yesterday. They bring him in on no rest. He pitched the night before, and he gets Kevin McReynolds out to go 2-2, as opposed to if we lose that game, we're down 3-1, and it's over. Let's face it. It's over, down 3-1. But we win because Orel comes in with the bases loaded, gets Kevin McReynolds to pop out, and we win. It's 2-2. We go back to L.A. He wins game 7 to clinch it for us. So he wins 3 games and a save in the NLCS. Then we go to the World Series against the mighty Oakland A's, which was a fairly good team. They were okay. They had a couple of guys. I'm being sarcastic, because if it weren't for steroids, about 5 of the guys on that team would have been in the Hall of Fame. Mark McGwire, Jose Canseco, Don Baylor, the late Dave Parker, who's getting in this summer, and Dave Stewart. This was Terry Steinbach was the catcher. This was a really, really good A's team. The night after Gibson hits the famous home run, arguably the most famous home run in Dodger history, Orel's parents throw out the first pitch. He goes 9 innings. He shuts out Baylor, Parker, McGwire, Canseco. He allows 3 hits. How many hits do you think he got at the plate? Because this is back when pitchers had to hit. He goes 3 for 3 with 2 doubles. And the second double cleared the bases and blew the game open. He then goes and wins the clinching game in game 6 to win the championship against the mighty Oakland A's. In the last 101 innings of the 1988 season, Orel Hershiser's ERA was 0.44. For the last 100 innings of his 88 season, he was giving up not even half a run a game. Not even half a run a game. And in the history of Major League Baseball, one player has won the NLCS MVP, the World Series MVP, and the Cy Young in one season, and it was Orel Leonard Hershiser IV. Now, you give me a better season than that. You give me a better season than that. DiMaggio in 41, 56 games in a row? Maybe, but I don't think so. I don't think so. That was a good Yankee team. DiMaggio didn't lead them to the World Series. Teddy Ballgame in 41 when he hits 406. The Red Sox, did he make the playoffs? Did he make the playoffs? Give me a better season than that. Go ahead. I'm waiting. Go ahead. I got no 6 o'clock. Go ahead. Give me a better season.
I'll get back to you on Monday when I can actually look some up.
Okay, go right ahead. If you got to look it up, you got to look it up. If you got to look it up, that tells you something right there. There's no season that's better than that pops out at you. Shoot, come on. Oh, wait a minute. I'm 63 years old in a couple of weeks. I forgot. In his regular season, when he went 23-8 with 15 complete games, 8 shutouts, I forgot. One minuscule stat. He broke Don Drysdale's scoreless consecutive inning record with 59 consecutive scoreless innings. Now, even a guy that got 480 on the math SAT can tell you that 9 innings goes into 59 about 6 times. So that's 6 complete games, scoreless innings. And ain't nobody in my lifetime and perhaps for another 50 years is going to break that record. I forgot to add that. Anybody? Bueller, you got something? Just saying. It is remarkable. Now you're saying, how did you make this conclusion, Ralph? Well, I was bored out of my arse last night after watching Abby Phillip and PTI and all my shows. And I was like, oh, I forgot about the Dodger game. And I thought for some reason the Dodger season started last night. And I went to 690 Sportsnet. And the 88 documentary on the Dodgers was beginning. And I was like, all right, I'll watch it again. Why not? And you really got to watch that documentary. That is one of the best sports documentaries. It is just such a goofy season. Because like I said, that was a C+ B- team. It really was. Franklin Stubbs, Steve Sachs, an old aging Alfredo Griffin, Mike Marshall, John T-Bone Shelby, and a hurt Kirk Gibson in the playoffs. He helped us. He hit a big home run in the series against the Mets. And that season included, we're down 4-2. It's 2-1 Mets. We're down 4-2 in Shea. And it's Dwight Gooden with 2 outs. Dwight Gooden, young Dwight Gooden, 88. He's like 26 years old. He's at the peak of his skills before he's started doing the yayo. And Mike Scioscia, who hit like 40 home runs his whole career, hits a 2-run home run in the 9th inning with 2 outs to tie the ball game. It goes into 12 innings. Gibson hits one in the upper deck to win it, and that's when they brought in Oral for the 1 inning to get Kevin McReynolds with the bases loaded. We win and we even it up 2-2 instead of going down 3-1. It's just the whole season was stupid, just stupid. And then they replayed the whole Gibson thing, of course, where Gibson was motivated by Vin Scully. Scully's doing the broadcast for NBC with Joe Garagiola. And they even interviewed Vin before he died about this, where Vin says, I rarely do this, but I asked the director at NBC, I said, stay with me. Whatever I do, just stay with me. And in the 9th inning, Vinny says, don't think that Gibson's going to come in here, because you can, if you were in the ballpark and you've got binoculars, you'd be looking into the dugout, and the director pans the Dodger dugout. Kirk Gibson's not even in the dugout, and he didn't even get introduced that night. And Gibson's back getting iced, and he hears Vinny say that. He's like, my ass. And he gets up and he starts hitting balls off of the tee. And he finally tells him, go tell Tommy, I can't run, but I think I can give him a couple swings. And then the count goes to 3-2. They go back to the Dodger scouting report that says Dennis Eckersley throws a backdoor slider every 3-2 count. He does. And the rest is history. We're off to Philadelphia. Nick Ragone is next.
News Talk 96.1.
Mr. B, come on in. Oh my God, you're Nick. I got so excited. I don't even know my damn lineup. Don't even know my own damn lineup.
Training facility killed 3 veteran deputies from the arson and explosives unit.
Alrighty, sir.
There you are. Thank you. Dude.
Testing 1, 2. Okay.
No, I just can't. I just can't turn. I can't.
Just take an extra week off, and you'll be back next week. So try to go back too early.
I cannot sit in my apartment this weekend.
Don't sit in your apartment. I didn't say sit in your apartment.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see Superman tomorrow.
But just don't go golf. The minute you golf,
Yeah.
you're gonna be hurting the next day. You know what I mean?
Swelling's down.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh. So I teased your segment. I want to interview you today.
I heard that.
Unless you got something, or you obviously have something. So
Well,
we'll
no.
get to that first.
It was one of the things. I had 3 things, and that's the Colbert thing was one
Mhm.
certainly on there. So I have no problem getting into that right up.
You think it's political?
You want to wait till we start?
Yes,
Okay.
I do actually.
Are you on Suicide Watch?
No.
Actually asking me to take over yours. I think you're having some sort of breakdown.
I have always told my friends, if I ever commit suicide, get Barnaby Jones, Columbo, get everybody on the case because I've been murdered.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
could not do that to my mother.
Yeah. Well,
I could not do that.
you know, every time I go in for a physical now, my doctor says, "Well, are you depressed?" And I said, "Well, you know, my wife is still dead, so yes, but I don't have negative thoughts." There's a difference. I think you can be depressed and have this dark hole,
Yeah.
but if you're not thinking about negative, hurting yourself or hurting, then it's a different kind of depression.
I get depressed all the time.
We
I
all
get
do.
lonely.
Yeah. Sundays are
I
horrible.
cry.
Sunday.
Yep.
There are times when something will happen and I'll cry about my wife, and it's just like,
Yep.
and if somebody saw me, they think, well, what the hell?
Yeah, me too.
Because it's always some weird little trigger.
Exactly. I'll have like a father and son commercial trigger me
Yeah.
and think about my dad and start just
Yeah.
bawling.
Yeah.
Just I'm like doing this and no pillow.
But I think that form of depression is not bad.
It's normal.
it's-
That's what people don't realize.
Yeah, I
it's
think-
normal.
I tell people, I said, I feel like the amount of depression is compared to the amount of love.
Right.
If you're not depressed, you really didn't love that person.
Right. And the only people that really are impacted by that are the people that think, I'm not supposed to be depressed. Why is this happening to me? Because you're a human being.
Exactly.
That's why it's
I'd
happening
be
to
scared
you.
if you weren't.
Exactly.
Depressed. Okay.
And don't it feel good? It does feel good. It's a Friday, and that means Rick Bentley, despite what I said going into the break, joins us live in studio. How are you, sir?
What's nice is sneak up on the listener. They think, oh,
Yeah.
thank goodness Rick didn't show up today. Oh, there he go.
No, you're
now we
one of
gotta
our favorites. That's why Mr. Bentley will be hosting the show August 8th on my vacation.
Yes, Precious, I've gotten your show finally.
And
You'll
we'll
be
see-
wonderful.
We'll
They'll
see how
love
it
you.
goes.
They'll love you.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. So what are we talking about today?
Well, I heard you promo this, so we have to live up to that. You said you wanted to interview me.
I do. I
I'm
have
not taking
questions. I have no questions. I have questions. First, the whole Stephen Colbert cancellation.
Yeah.
There are 2 schools of thought that I
Yes.
have read and heard.
Yes.
One, that the late night show is out of step. That the Jimmys are next. That these networks, with all the Netflix and all the Hulu and all the expansion, can't afford to have a show with 200 people putting this thing on, a big orchestra, and a guy who I didn't know until this week was making 8 figures, and yet he's getting his butt kicked by Greg Gutfeld on Fox at the same time with a staff of 15. So in other words, it was a money decision.
Yeah.
And his ratings were bad.
You're throwing out lots of seeds. Okay.
Yeah, but essentially that it was
Okay,
a
that-
money decision.
That's one thing.
Then there's the idea that Paramount is involved in a transition to Skydance,
right?
And that it was political because you need the FCC and you need Donald J. Trump
to oversee and okay this merger.
Right.
And so that's why they didn't fight the defamation suit
Right.
with 60 Minutes.
The absurd defamation.
Absurd, because they would
Absolutely.
have there's no way in the world
No,
Donald Trump wins that defamation suit
no, and it doesn't matter. It could have been Donald Trump,
or anybody.
Newsom. It could
No
be anybody.
way in the world
No,
they
but-
win, but they capitulated and
Well,
they gave
yeah.
up $17 million.
Yeah, because we're looking at $1 billion deal on the table.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's, some are saying that's the reason
Okay.
Colbert. In fact, who's Pocahontas? Who do I call? Elizabeth Warren suggested that there be a probe. What say you?
Well, I say there's a third
Really?
possibility,
Okay.
which is it's sort of a hybrid of both of those. Let's start with the ratings part of it first. Colbert is the top-rated talk show host at night at 11:35.
Really? He's beating Kimmel and the other Jimmy?
Yeah. He's averaging about 2.4 million viewers a night. Kimmel's 1.7 and Jimmy's 1.1. So he's beaten them. Now you mentioned the Fox. That's at 10
Gutfeld.
o'clock. I always went through this argument with people when I would do the reports about ratings that would come out in the news, and when I talk about like a TV station, when I was in Fresno, I would talk about the 11 o'clock news and what they were doing. And then, but they would always argue, well, you should compare that to the 10 o'clock news. I said, no, 10 o'clock's a different time hour. You know, people
Right.
so there, that's apples and oranges. But that being said, let's just concentrate on the.
So
talk show.
Gutfeld is not on during.
He's on at 10.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought they were. Why would they make that comparison? That
I
makes
don't
no
know.
sense. That's like comparing me to Scott.
Exactly. So that being said, and Colbert's numbers from the first quarter are up 1%. So that's about 219,000 more viewers.
Okay.
That being said, nighttime ratings are horrible across the board.
Yeah.
I think we have to go back. I mean, do you know why the nighttime talk shows came about?
No.
Well, first off, they're cheap. They were cheap to produce in the beginning. I mean,
Yeah.
basically,
Where did it start with Jack Parr?
Jack Parr. Okay, they were, you weren't spending a lot of, but the point was, network executives said, when people go to bed, because this was a time when we watched television on one TV set, or when they go
Until
to
it
bed,
went off.
right,
Chris Burdick does not know about that.
and
Television used to turn off,
right,
and they would play the national anthem,
yeah,
and then it would go.
High Flight. They had that.
Yes.
remember High
Yes, the poem.
Flight?
They would read the
Soared
poem
across the
and touch the face of God.
right.
Wow,
anyway,
we are old.
We are
Rick.
very old. But that being said,
Burdick's looking at us like
I know. Well,
he's a pterodactyl and he's a brontosaurus. Yeah.
raptor. So anyway, what they wanted, the network executives wanted, is that when you went to bed at night and you turned off your TV, it was on your network.
Right.
So they wanted NBC people to be watching Parr or Carson or whatever, so that when you get up the next morning, what do? You turn on your TV,
And the
there's
Today
your-
Show is on.
and so
You
that-
went from the Tonight Show to the Today Show.
and that primed you to be there all day long. So
Right.
there was a reason for it. Okay. In this era now, where we are more about streaming and more about, I mean, I will be the first to admit, I watch the late night talk shows, but I watch them the next day. I watch Colbert on Paramount Plus, so I can get up the next day when I'm eating breakfast or at lunch or whatever. I can watch them then. So I'm not watching them in their time frame.
Right.
The problem is with a streaming, they don't have a long shelf life because they're political, because they're set to a topic. And so you can't say, oh, we're going to keep this going for a week, a month. You can do that with Criminal Minds or NCIS. You can drop into those anytime. But those shows like that have a shelf life of about a day or two. So they don't have that strength that they would have that another show would have on streaming. So the numbers are down. Yes. But the other part of that is this was going to happen anyway. He was going to be fired because the person who's the head of Skydance, his father is good friends with Trump.
Right.
So this was going to be one of those things that as soon as Skydance took over, that show was gone. It was not going to be there anyway.
Because of the relationship with Trump?
Yeah, because Trump does not like those. Like he's posted on his social media.
The Jimmys are next.
Yeah, he hates all those talk shows because they poke fun at him. I will say this, having watched all of them for years, they've poked fun at whoever's in office. But we have a president who doesn't like that. And so I feel like...
Well, wait, let me stop you right there.
Yeah.
Let's be fair. They're especially obsessed with Trump. You can't compare
Exactly.
the criticism of Trump as opposed to what they said about Biden.
But I just feel like there's more material with Trump. There's something every day. You know, whether Biden was asleep in the White House or whatever, there's just so much material with Trump. I mean, this Epstein thing, it just goes, you can't ignore that. I mean, every radio talk show in the country is probably going to talk about that.
I'm talking about it in a couple of minutes.
And so that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you're right. The talk show hosts are very liberal. I will not deny that whatsoever.
He had Adam Schiff on the other night.
Yeah. The night he announced he was ending. Okay, so what we have though is a situation where that show was going to be canceled anyway. I think what pushed it to happen right away now is that Colbert kept talking about how his company took a bribe.
Really?
Well, the bribe was we'll pay the
they were victims of blackmail and they
Right.
gave in.
And they gave in. And he beat that to death. He kept talking about that.
Wow.
And you know yourself, if you were on the radio every day talking about your company, talking about, oh, they don't pay enough. And
Every day?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have to, it wouldn't be plural.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
One day I'm bagging on
Exactly.
Rogers Brandon and I'd be with a box and leaving
Exactly.
the
So,
studio.
so I think he knew the end was going to come once the Skydance thing came up.
So he said,
And
screw
he
it.
said, I'm just going to say what I want to say.
Yeah.
And I think I agree with him. We both agreed that they wanted to get that FCC ruling that they could sell Paramount to Skydance, so they caved in. That payoff for that lawsuit was chump change compared to the size of that deal. So
Well, what about the logic of settling, as most people do when they get into lawsuits, when you have the money to make it go away, as opposed to spending much more than $16 million on defending it?
Well, I think if you stand behind your ethics, if you say, look, what we did in that news story was nothing wrong. We followed journalistic rules that everybody in the world uses. And I think if they didn't have that deal pending and they wanted to get out of, just sell the company, I think they would have spent whatever it took. Whether it took $100 billion to fight it, I think they would have fought for their ethics because they would have gotten support from, other companies.
Yeah, but what about the board members? You still got to answer to your board, and you're going to tell your board we're going to spend $100 billion fighting this thing, as opposed to giving them 16 and make it go away.
I think you're overestimating what that would have cost to fight it. I think the first day they walked into court and said, "Here's our our proof. Here's our briefs on this."
It would have been thrown out.
It was said, you know what?
Yeah, it would have been thrown out.
This is absurd. So
Yeah.
we're not talking about a major amount of money. It was just a nuisance. It was like having, they had a gnat, and so they paid a guy with a machine gun to kill it.
Yeah.
And so I think he's right in saying, they were blackmailed, but they needed to get that okay, and it would have been very easy for the current government management to have said, let's hold up on that deal. Let's give it another. I mean, and again, if Paramount's bleeding money, they want to get out. They want to stop before they're dead.
Yeah.
The interesting thing you'll see is, the Daily Show, which is also owned by Paramount. Jon Stewart has even been more vehement about his hatred of the current administration.
Oh yeah, you're not going to shut up Jon Stewart.
Oh no. And so, what do you do now with that? Do you end his show, but that's a show. See, I think the weird thing about a late night talk show is they sort of morphed into being these sort of political venues because that sort of got the laughs. I mean, look, I watched some of the old Carson shows, and he picks fun at Reagan or whoever's in office at that time, but it's certainly not venomous. It's so his jokes are more about Burbank and
and he was an equal chastiser. He bagged on both sides
Yeah.
equally. You never knew.
So
I don't know to this day whether Johnny Carson was a Republican or a Democrat.
I don't either.
I really don't.
And that's what it should have been.
Exactly.
And so talk shows morphed into something political. The Daily Show has from day one been, we are a political show.
Yeah.
We're going to make political commentary. So will that be safe? I don't know. I think this is a situation where I think Jon Stewart may step up and say out of support for his good friend Colbert, he's not going to keep, because he does it one day a week. He only hosts one day a week
on Mondays.
And so will they keep it going? I don't know, but that could be the next shoe to drop.
Okay, very good. Are the Jimmys in trouble?
I think they're all in trouble. I mean, you're talking about. I was looking at Colbert's the money he was bringing in from, if you look over a 10-year, the revenue from commercials he was bringing in has dropped 50%. So,
wow.
So if all those others are doing the same thing, you have two options. One, let's say we'll take Jimmy Fallon's show. He dumps the band. He does what David Letterman's doing now. My next guest needs no introduction.
Right, where it's just Letterman and a guest.
And a table. Yeah. And you need a little bit of people to run the cameras. But even into this day, as I know from working in TV now,
you really don't.
You have robot cameras.
Yeah.
So you can do that. You can adapt and just say, we're going to go to that, go do a round table type thing, meet the press. You could, or you just say, we're going to fill it now with reruns of NCIS because we already own those. Any commercial money we make off of those is free money. And so, because Colbert said himself, this isn't a case where he's been fired and they're looking for a replacement.
Right. No, the show is killed.
It's done. That spot.
The show that was begun by David Letterman.
Right. Will no longer exist.
Have they talked about what they intend to replace it with?
I have checked and I can't find out what it's going to be. It's got to be something. You can't just go dead air.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be a lot of reruns. It's a great place to dump all those reality shows that are on, other Paramount projects. Those Survivor, and you can put all that in there. Who knows what
game shows? Who knows?
Yeah, you can fill it with cheap material.
Yeah. What else you got?
Well, I want to. This is a little bit early, but I want to talk about a 5-part documentary that's coming up on July 27th. And
Love documentaries.
I want to talk about it early because I think people should go out and, if you don't have the National Geographic Channel or Disney Plus or Hulu, you need to get it. This is a 5-part documentary series on Katrina.
Really?
Hurricane Katrina.
Wow.
It's called Race Against Time. I watched all 5 episodes and I was devastated watching this.
Yeah.
I remember how bad it was.
Yeah.
I don't
BB King waist high and what? No, not BB King. Oh God, what's the black artist? He played the piano. He's from New Orleans. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm blacking out.
But I thought I knew how bad it was until I saw this documentary, and the rampant racism that went on. If you were poor and black in the New Orleans area, nobody cared.
The 4th Ward. Yeah.
More than that, there are a lot of wards that they just ignored. There's one moment in it that it sort of solidifies it for me. They had people in it was a hotel that had been turned into housing for low income. A lot of those people were in wheelchairs. And there were a lot of African-American people on the top of the building waving at helicopters. They could see them going over, hey, it's been 4 days. We got no water. We got no food. Helicopters just go on past. So one of the guys there said, forget this. Anybody who's black, go downstairs. Haul up every white person you can find in a wheelchair or can walk up here. They put them on the roof. Helicopter goes over. 15 minutes later, they're being picked up.
Wow.
And if that doesn't say, and then having worked in Louisiana for 7 years.
It's hard for me to watch those things. It really is.
But, I guess I have rosy glasses sometimes.
Yeah.
I want to believe we're getting better as a people when it comes to race issues. And then I look at something like that, and I look at what's going on in America right now, and I think we are just going backwards and backwards, and we are still as racist and as ignorant and as stupid as we can possibly be.
I try to tell that to the audience, and they yell at me for looking at life through race-colored glasses, and they tell me that I'm the only one that looks through life like this, et cetera, et cetera.
No,
and I'm just like, you have lost your ever-loving minds.
And I think that's why I want people to watch this, because this is a documentary that deals with people who were there, who survived. I mean, just the horror that they went through, the fact that people were told, after being left to die, basically, oh, if you walk across the bridge, and it was, it's August in Louisiana, you think August is hot here, you put that humidity,
Oh,
and it's killer.
it is.
They get halfway there, and the troops stop them and say, well, you can't come over here, you got to go back. No water, no help, nothing. There were plenty of people who were first responders carrying rifles and guns and saying, if somebody tries to stop us, I have no problem killing them. I mean, and this is all in this documentary. And so I think people have to look at things like that and be reminded. I mean, I often say, 9/11 happened and we were all up in arms and we were crazy about it, and then it sort of faded.
Yeah.
We can now wear our shoes in the airport. Really? You remember, it wasn't that long ago. Well, Katrina is an example. I mean, I say if that hurricane had hit Martha's Vineyard, completely different story.
Yeah. Did they get into all what went on at the Superdome?
They did not get into the fact that there were assaults and all
Rapes and all kinds
and I talked to the director and the executive producer of it, and they said we did 5 episodes. We could have done 50.
Yeah.
We could have looked at the hospitals. We could have looked at all these, and again, they were quick to send in the military, but not to help the people who were out of water, out of food, out of formula, out of diapers, all that. They were there to make sure there was no looting going on. And I'm going to tell you, I want to believe if I'm in New Orleans and I have nothing, I have no water, I have no food, I have no future, I'm going to loot what I have to survive. You want to arrest me? You want to put me in prison after that? I can live with that. But to only bring in troops to help with the looting, they were more concerned about the city than the people. And again, 95% of the people who were forgotten were Black.
Yeah.
And so you can't just say, oh, it just happened. It's a
coincidence.
There's a storm, No. There were people who were making conscious decisions, and they were the wrong decisions.
Wow.
Even they do have a postscript at the end. The mayor, who was so stupid in his decision making, he had put together a year before Katrina a plan that if we ever have one of those massive hurricanes, this is the buses. We're going to have buses here. You can get here, you get out. Okay, it was too expensive, so he canceled it all.
Didn't he later go to jail?
He's in jail right now.
Isn't he really?
10 years for corruption.
Yeah. Yeah, he was
But
a nightmare.
having worked in Louisiana, I was there when a governor had gotten indicted and went to prison and came back out and won again.
Yeah. Oh, it's the most corrupt city in the world. My buddy that I went to Morehouse with was the DA there, a guy named Al Bolden.
Yeah.
And I ran into Al in Washington, D.C., of all places. And I asked him about his tenure as DA, because this guy was a cocky little kid. So I'm going to be a lawyer. I'm going to be a judge. I'm being everybody's like, shut up. He's just a big mouth kid. And lo and behold, I run into him down at the Capitol. And I said, what was your experience like in New Orleans? And he said, Ralph, I have never seen more corruption in my life. And I just had to get out because I was starting to get painted with it as the DA, as the top cop. I couldn't rein in the cops who were in the bag with the mafia.
Yeah.
And I couldn't clean up the DA's office.
No.
And it started to rise to me, and I just had to get out.
My son was born there.
Yeah.
And we said as soon as he was born, it's like, he will not be raised here.
Yeah. That's sad.
They had the lowest school systems in the country,
Yeah.
the highest corruption. I mean, everything about it. And I don't think it's changed, but it's a phenomenal documentary series. July 27th on National Geographic, and then it'll be available the next day on both Disney Plus and Hulu. I recommend people highly watch this. It is just eye-opening and staggering that we as a people could treat other humans that way is just, it's just, it's criminal.
Yeah.
Absolutely criminal.
Well, thanks for the info. I'll look forward to it.
Yeah.
Anything else? We've got a couple of minutes left.
Well, I saw a movie. I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah.
Don't get it confused with I Know What You Did Last Summer in 1997, that movie, or don't get it confused with the 2023 TV series I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Right.
This is a new version of it. I guess it's a reimagining, or I don't know. Basically, what it is a bunch of stupid young people commit a crime and try to cover it up. And a year later, a guy in a sailor rain slicker with a hook starts killing them because he knows what they did last summer. The first 2/3 of the movie are exactly like the original 1997 movie. I like the last third of the movie, it kind of picks up because it brings back some of the original people, like Freddie Prinze Jr.
Really?
Yeah.
Good.
And Jennifer Love Hewitt is back, and a couple other cameos.
I love her.
I don't want to give away, but it's enough at the end, and the identity of the killer makes sense, and so I think it finally picks up steam at the end. It's no more than a C+ movie for me. I think it's just really kind of filling the theaters between Superman, which is doing gangbusters, and then Fantastic Four opens next Friday, because anything opening around these two, those two films are just going to get crushed. And even Smurfs opened to really negative reviews. So
next week we'll be able to talk about Superman because I'm going to go see it this weekend.
Okay.
And it's the weirdest movie for me because I have 5 friends that have seen it. 3 thought it was horrendous. 1 thought it was okay. 1 thought it was outstanding.
How young is that person?
The one that thought it was outstanding?
Mm-hmm.
Chet is my age. He's 61.
Okay. All right.
And he thought it was outstanding. He said, I ignored all the obvious immigration, beat me over the head.
It's kind of hard
nonsense. And he said, I even ignored the dog. Oh, by the way, did you know that dog adoptions have gone up since Superman came out?
No, that doesn't surprise me.
I mean, he's that big of the film.
Oh, he's
big part of the film.
He's in the film to the point of being annoying. I really.
That's
did.
what the 3 people that said it was
there
horrible.
Yeah, there was a point where I thought, just spay neuter it, get him off the screen.
And I don't, was it you that said, or was it one of my friends who said, I don't go to see Superman to watch him get beat up for 2 hours? Did you say that?
I didn't say that, but I agree
one of my
with that.
friends said that.
He's
I said, it's
he's
Superman, and he gets beat up for 2 hours.
He's not Superman.
Yeah, and they said the same thing that you said about the other characters. Like, and they brought in these characters that I've never even heard of, and Superman don't need no other characters. He's Superman.
He's Superman. Yeah. So we can get into that again.
Very good.
But we'll have the Fantastic Four. So we can do a whole superhero roundtable for.
Outstanding. Always good to see you, sir.
It's great to be here.
That was fun. I appreciate it. Rick Bentley, everybody. Quick time out. We're off to Philadelphia, PA. Round 2 of the Open Championship at Royal Portrush is in the books, and the best player in the world is sitting atop of the lead. We'll talk with our good friend, tour director, author, documentarian, and overall good egg, Nick Ragone, joins us next right here on the Ralph Bailey Show. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. That was great. That was really, really good. I don't know if I can watch that. I hate to see it. They make me mad. Like even in 7th grade, I really didn't like Roots. I really didn't. I had such a hard time watching it. And it makes me mad. And I hate to watch stuff that makes me angry.
I want to believe I have compassion for all people. Okay?
Yeah.
And then I look at these things and I see people of my skin color saying and doing things that I want to beat the shit out of them.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you, it drives me nuts. But I think it's one of those things we have to look at.
Yeah.
To remind us that we are not where we should be.
That's exactly my mother.
It's only been 20 years.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like the Civil War.
Right.
I mean, come on, it's only been 20 years, and I'm telling you, with what's going on with immigration right now and everything, it's it's the same. You see all the first responders and all the guys carrying guns and
the ICE
I don't want
agents
to take you anymore on Superman. I really do want to get your take on it because
yeah, I'm gonna go see it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Go to Mexicali, have a little lunch, go over to Maya, check it out.
Have fun.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Appreciate you filling in.
Oh, listen,
That's great.
I'm honored. I am really honored. I meant that same fee. Same fee.
Oh, yes, same fee. I was like, what? Fee?
I will do it, but I want a food card. I want somebody to give me a food card.
I'll give you some script to Casey Steakhouse. How's that?
That's what I want.
All right, very good. All right, have a good week. Thank you, sir. That's funny. Oh, Lord have mercy. I need one of those cups. I need one of these. I think this is mine, actually. Oh, no, it's brand new. See how I lied? It's brand freaking new. Still got all this crap in it. Because my coffee goes cold in like a half an hour. Although I really don't need to be drinking coffee. I really don't need to be drinking coffee. Look at our buddy chiming in. Martinez posted career high 13.3 strikeouts per innings at a 2.7 ERA and 99 in the midst of one of the highest running scores. That doesn't beat Oral. Bob Gibson, 1968. Gibson's 1.2.
Is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare, and I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing. Attorneys, this was meant to be funny, so please don't sue me, especially my friend Kenneth from Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-919-1441. 800-919-1441. 800-919-1441.
From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm Bill Robbins. A burglary suspect is in the hospital after a homeowner in Taft opened fire on the man. It happened just before 6 o'clock Monday evening in the 300 block of Montview Avenue. Kern County Sheriff's deputies answered the call. By the time they got there, they learned that the homeowner had confronted the alleged burglar in his backyard. The suspect, 36-year-old Felix Valasenor Cortez, reportedly charged at the homeowner, and he discharged his weapon. Cortez was hit and airlifted to Kern Medical. He is said to still be in intensive care. A 76-year-old man from Bakersfield has been sentenced to life in prison for killing a 29-year-old woman whom he was interested in. Williams, who was 73 at the time, wanted a relationship with Latasha Nate Jones in spite of their age difference. She told him he was too old and wanted no part of it, but Martin Renee Williams would not give up. After she saw Jones dating another man, he got jealous, went to her home and shot her several times. Jones identified Williams. About a year later, she died at the hospital. Bakersfield Council member Andre Gonzalez has announced he will be running for state assembly in District 5. This a day after Assemblywoman Dr. Jasmine Bain's announcement that she is running for Congress in District 22.
You find
Includes Bakersfield, Delano, Shafter,
Joan? You found it? Oh, sweet. You got both of them? Sweet. Nice job. You see that, Daisy? That's how you produce a radio broadcast. Right there, boy.
Personnel from the Bakersfield Fire Department arrived and attempted medical aid. She did not survive. Her neighbor was moved for homicide. I'm Bill Robbins in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
What do you think? This is the Army where you shoot them a mile away? You gotta get up close like this. Let bing! You blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit.
It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Now make sure you leave the house when you make the call. You understand me? You hear me? Call from an outside line. I mean it.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Hour 2 of the broadcast on this Friday, 18th day of July. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. We're streaming live at currentradio.com. Bottom of the hour, we'll get into Gavin Newsom suing the Trump administration for rescinding the $4 billion that the federal government was going to waste on this high-speed train to nowhere, as the president has called it, scheduled at $45 billion. They're now projecting this idiotic train is going to cost maybe $130 billion. They don't know. They don't know. B, they don't know where they're going to get the money, particularly now that Trump has taken $4 billion off the table. And yet our governor is suing the federal government. We'll get into that. And I've got some other miscellaneous news and notes. We'll talk about this Kiss Cam story that's absolutely blown up because of social media. A CEO hanging out with his HR lady, woman, person at a Coldplay concert. They get caught on the Kiss Cam. And you know, Chris, the funniest thing about it, if they had just kissed and played it off, they could have gone to their wives and husbands and said, "It's Carol from HR. We were just hanging out and I was holding on to her. I didn't think it was any big deal." And the Kiss Cam came and we kissed. Yeah, that's pretty funky. He was great. He wasn't even just holding. He was yeah, it was. I mean, it was. I don't see nothing wrong with a little bump and grind. He wasn't just holding on. He was.
This little one here next to me has a story kind of similar to that we can talk about later.
Daisy, you got caught on a Kiss Cam and your boyfriend caught you? Oh, this ought to be rich.
Got caught with a boyfriend that some people didn't know she had at a concert.
What's wrong with that? You got a girlfriend that you won't tell anybody about.
People who caught her. And again, there's a
Oh, it was a workplace thing? Ooh, I do want to hear about this. But first, we're off to Philadelphia. I almost said Pittsburgh. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Day 2. Yeah, Villanova here. Day 2 of the Open Championship is in the books. And guess who is atop the leaderboard? He's got a one-stroke lead over Matt Fitzpatrick, the English player who we haven't had somebody from the United Kingdom win since Nick Faldo. Brian Harmon is 2 shots off the lead along with a couple of other players. It's time to talk with our good friend, documentarian, author, tournament director, Nick Ragone. Can anybody, the mush, you know, the audience calls me the mush because I have so many wrong sports predictions. And I have declared that nobody's going to catch Scotty. Have I mushed him, or is he going to go win this thing from here on out?
I would be shocked if anybody caught him. It's obviously possible. Golf is a finicky, nickety game, but like, he's the best player in the world. He's been a 3.5-year heater. He's playing pretty good. You know, and the guy's chasing him. Brian Harmon's a good player and all that.
Yeah.
Like, and he's won a British Open. I get it, but doesn't strike fear in anybody. You know, Rory's still sort of in the mix, but pretty far back. You know, my guy John Rahm faltered a little bit. It's not like there's a ton of names. Matt Fitzpatrick's a good player. Won the U.S. Open. You're right. No Englishman has won it since Faldo, I think, in '91 or '92. If I had to take the fielder Scotty, I'll take Scotty right now. He seems to be completely in control of his game and his emotions. Right, last time we talked, I said, hey, go watch that press conference he did on Wednesday, I think it was. It was so interesting. He was very reflective and existential and sort of thinking about what was the meaning of life and all this other stuff. But you could tell he's detached from, you know, sort of wrapping up his whole identity in golf. And I think it frees him up to just go play. And I just think he's unbeatable.
Which is exactly, in my opinion, Rory's problem. He's the exact opposite.
Yes, his whole identity is in golf.
Yep.
Emotions are wrapped up in it. He lives and dies with seemingly every shot. Now he tries to say like he doesn't do that, but I think also winning the Masters was so epic. I think his whole world just kind of like went off kilter. Like it was, you know, the Earth's gravitational pull changed for him, and so I think he's still in, you know, kind of in the woods trying to figure out what's next for him. But I think the course is playing tough enough where, you know, there's a lot of bogeys out there, but it's not overwhelmingly difficult. I mean, Scotty's putting up birdies. He shot 64. So there is a low number out Saturday. You know, somebody could go low, but I think it's going to be very difficult for anybody because Scotty plays like Jack. You know, Tiger didn't play like Jack. Scotty plays like Jack. He just doesn't beat himself. He doesn't make mistakes. He's a pretty good front runner. At this point, it would, you know, the Earth would have to be off his axis for, you know, something to happen so wacky that this guy doesn't win.
Yeah. how far low down the scoreboard do players feel like they can win? Like, does that how?
Yeah, I don't. That's a good question. I mean, Scotty's at what, 10 or?
He's at 10. Rory's at 3. Tony Finau's at 4.
Yeah, I think 3 is about as
Low as you can
you
go.
can make up some good shots over the weekend. For Rory, let's say, Rory has to go mid 60s. I mean, I don't think Scotty's going to finish up less than 10 under. I mean, he might finish at 10 or 11, but more likely 12 or 13. So if you're Rory, you have to kind of go 66, 65, something like that. It can be done, but you're going to have to play near flawless golf. And I think 3 is about as far back as you can go. I think if you're a 2 or 1, you're going to have to have a 64 tomorrow or 65 and then back it up. And then, by the way, hope that Scotty doesn't go and run and hide, which he is clearly capable of doing. He shot 32 under earlier this year.
And he went 32-32 today. Good God. I mean, that is just on that course in the conditions they were playing in this morning or yet. I mean,
it was
brutal. And he goes 32-32. Yeah.
He's on a different plane, and it's not like, it's funny because his swing is obviously, it's quirky. He hits it, he hits it nice, but it's not like he's the longest guy out there. He's not the best putter out there, but he just thinks his way, and his dispersion pattern is so small. Like, you just don't see big misses from him. The way you see, like, Rory or Jordan, Rahm, all these guys hit a couple of foul balls around, and you just don't see that with Scotty. He just doesn't hit the big foul ball. I think that's the difference, is like his dispersion pattern, particularly off the tee, is so narrow that he never really puts himself in a position that other guys do, where at least once or twice around, they're staring down a big number that they got to avoid.
Yeah. I'm just looking down the scoreboard. There's so many good players. Like, are we ever going to see Justin Thomas compete in a major again? Because it seems like he's going the route of your boy Jordan Spieth.
They're sort of in that same, their parents and they're in their 30s now, and things change. Yeah, a lot of those guys, I think, they're no longer young. They're no longer. I mean, Koepka seems to have lost it completely. Golf is a fickle game. You only have a prime for so long, and now it's even more compressed because there's so many good young players behind. At least back in the 70s and 80s, you had what they called the Rabbit Tour, where only 60 guys were exempt, and everybody else was Monday qualifying. And you could be like Watson and Torino and Johnny Miller and have a 15, 20-year run of dominance. But that just seems so much more difficult today because A, there's way more exempt people. B, the kids coming out of college think they could win immediately, and they're so long and strong. And it just seems like that's why Scotty, to be number 1 in the world for now, going on 3.5 years, that's an epically long time. And I just think people's primes, like a Justin Thomas, or Jordan Spieth, Brooks, goes like that, I think it's going to be much shorter than when we were growing up. And, you were used to seeing Watson and Miller, Trevino, Weiskopf, and all these guys playing good golf for really long periods of time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's sad.
It is sad.
It really is. And it's changed. And it looked for a minute, there were some players that looked like they were going to come out of nowhere. It looked like Ricky Fowler was playing well, and then he didn't play well today. Phil was 1 under after one day. It looked like he might compete. And
he got in at even. I think Phil was interesting. I mean, if he could shoot a low number tomorrow, it'd be curious to see at 55 years old Phil make a little run. But
yeah,
it's hard to do it, especially with guys like Ricky and Phil who are erratic. It's hard to do it for 4 days.
Yeah.
You have one day where you're glorious. The guys were talking about Watson at Turnberry in 2009. Still, to me,
the greatest tragedy.
Sports story of
Yep.
all time. It's still a top 3 golf story. I mean, as Brandel rightly said, nobody beat him over 72 holes at 59 years old. Like, he lost the playoff, but nobody beat him.
That one tournament has made me hate Stuart Sink. It's because it's like, come on, man, you couldn't lose to the old man and let him make history. And I just,
Stuart said only his mom was rooting for him. He thinks
he's right. He and his wife, his mom and his wife. That's about it.
Yeah.
Because everybody, and all he had to do was make par on that hole, and he hit a 9-iron, he flew a little 8-iron.
10 high, and it just skipped over.
Yep.
And it was a great shot. He flushed. I mean, I told you this. I told you many times. I've cried 2 times in my life watching sports. One was that, and one was when Barbaro went down at the Belmont.
Yeah. Oh God, that was.
To me, that was one of the saddest things I've ever seen.
Yeah, it really is.
Because you knew it was gonna not end well.
Yeah, dude, I used to be.
Wait, speaking of crying, can I get your opinion on something?
Sure, and then I'm going to ask you your opinion on something.
All right. So I'm doing a video right now. I'm going to record it tomorrow on the top, what I call guy cry movies, like where it's totally acceptable for guys to start weeping.
Yeah.
I want to tell you my top 5, and just you tell me what I'm missing or punch holes in it.
Well, I'm the worst guy to ask because I've become a crybaby after 55 years of age.
But I just want to get.
Okay. All right. Let's go.
I got Brian's song in there. That's obvious.
Clearly.
All-time greatest movie.
Oh, if you don't cry twice in Brian's song, there's something wrong with you. Yes.
Field of Dreams, multiple cries, and that one has to be. Rudy, I think the whole last 5 minutes is kind of a teary mess. Here's my curveball. Do you remember the movie Something for Joey about John Capoletti?
Absolutely. John Capoletti played for the Rams when I was a kid.
He played for the Rams.
Yeah. Yes, he did. He was, yes.
People forgot he had one good year. But
Yep.
anyway, people don't remember that movie. It's a great one. And then I have my other one. I have Rocky. I just think Rocky is a great, Bill Conti score and Adrian and I Did It and that whole last couple of minutes.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Yeah, so those are my top 5.
I'll give you Rocky. I'll give you what was the second and the last one you mentioned?
Something for Joey.
I'll give you that one. Field of Dreams. I just have never been able to get my arms around.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're missing something.
I guess. Rudy, I would give to you, but I was told before I saw it that Montana had done an interview and said that whole crap was, So that I was a little biased on that, but Rocky is brilliant, and my favorite part of Rocky is the ending where she comes. Well, Talia Shire comes to the lets her into the ring. She's got her red hat on, and then the red hat falls off, and she's like Rocky, and he's like Talia or whatever her name is, Adrian. And they hug, and he says, "Where's your hat?" And I just think that is a brilliant, brilliant lie. He's all beat up. He's just got 15 rounds with Muhammad Ali, essentially. And he asked her, "Where's your hat?"
Creed knocks him down for like the 3rd time. In the 14th round.
Yeah.
And Mickey saying, stay down. And Rocky gets up, and Creed looks over, and he in total disbelief. And I love that moment.
He does like he does a thing with his head like, you got to be kidding me. Yeah.
And his eyes are swollen and puffy. And Mickey saying, stay down. In fact, that's where it gets me. That's the moment where I start crying is when Mickey says, stay down. Because they know, like, you've done it. You've gone 14 rounds.
Right.
You've done it.
Yeah.
No, it's the 15th round, I think. I think it's the 15th.
Yeah, it is.
It's 14 because then he comes out 15. He goes, you go down. You're going down. Or he's just something, but I got to look it up. But
And then what would
you put in there? Like Hoosiers or what am I missing here?
Oh, Hoosiers. Okay, I'll give you Hoosiers. You got to throw that in there. You know me. I'm a sucker for It's a Wonderful Life. I'm sorry. I know I bring it up every time we talk about pictures.
That's not a guy cry movie. That's a movie that everybody cries in. That's not a guy cry movie.
Thinking about it off the top of my head, I can't come up with anything. But
people were like I looked it up. People say Good Will Hunting and Armageddon. I'm like, what?
Armageddon? No. No.
I would never cry in any Ben Affleck movie on principle.
Good Will Hunting? No, I liked Good Will Hunting. It has a positive ending.
Good Will Hunting, but I'm not going to start squeezing out tears.
No, it has a great ending.
And like, don't tell me Bridges of Madison County. That's not a guy crime movie.
Oh no, that's a chick flick. Give me a break.
Yeah.
No.
I'm talking like like all the ones I picked, they all have sports themes. So clearly, there's
The Champ.
Pride of the Yankees. Oh, The Champ.
The Champ.
Champ is a great one.
Yeah, it is.
Champ when Ricky Schroeder.
Yes.
Like Champ don't die or whatever he says at the end.
Yep.
Good one. I might have to throw that in there. The Champ.
Somebody just texted me when Goose dies in Top Gun. Yeah. I wasn't a big fan of Top Gun either.
I mean, it's just. And I can't cry in a movie where they're all topless playing beach volleyball.
Yeah. But yeah, the champ and I can't think.
I wish we had callers that could help me on this because I don't want to miss it. I have my 5, I think. I'm recording it tomorrow, but like I don't want to miss one where it was so obvious.
Dad pictures get me. I never sang to my father with Gene Hackman and Melvin Douglas. You ever seen that?
No, I've not. That's a good.
His dad is dying, and he goes back and visits his dad, and there's a great line where he says, "I never sang for my father," and he asks him to sing. It's gets me every time. But Dad pictures.
I got the text here for the Green Mile.
The Green Mile.
Oh, the Green Mile. That
Okay.
I've heard that a couple times. I don't remember it enough to know when's the cry moment in that.
I don't know when he
I
fit.
would say probably the very end when they put the bag over
yeah.
Duncan's head and they're just about to give him the electric chair, and you see the officers all crying and stuff like that in the back.
Yeah.
They created a relationship with him.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Shawshank Redemption.
No, I didn't cry in Shawshank. That's a positive ending too. I love that ending. Although,
It's a great ending.
although they wanted, did you know in Shawshank the producers wanted Morgan Freeman to take his own life, like what's his name did?
Oh my God, like Brooks.
Yeah, yeah,
Who would have thought that?
yeah. They wanted an ugly ending. They said they couldn't. They didn't feel good about letting a guy who was actually convicted be able to get out and live a. Yeah, I know.
Where you had to have the bad guy pay.
Exactly, exactly. It would have ruined the film. All right, here is my question. Here's my thesis, and I want to argue it with you because I'm sure you will. I had nothing to do last night, so I thought that MLB started back up, so I went to the Dodger channel, and I forgot, it starts tomorrow night. So I watched the 1988 documentary on the 1988 season where we beat your Mets in the National Championship Series, and then we beat McGuire and Canseco and Don Baylor and Dave Parker and beat the A's in 5 games. Dave Parker was on that team. That's right. That's right. Bob Welch, Dave Stewart. And we had nobody.
Welch is the last guy to have 25. He had 27 wins.
Did he really? Died young. Died young. Bob. Yeah. Here is my my thesis. Oral Hershiser's season that year is the greatest single season in the history of baseball. History of baseball. Let me make my argument. Let me make my argument. He goes 23-8 in the regular season. He has 15. I'm not done. He had 15 complete games. He had 8 shutouts. He had a 2.19 ERA. He won the Cy Young. Then we went to New York. He won game 1. He won game 3. He came in the middle of the night on no rest after pitching 9 innings for game 3. He comes into game 4 after, who was your reliever that won it for you in 86, the left-hander? Jesse Orosco's now with the Dodgers. Tommy doesn't want to bring him in, but he's the last guy in the bullpen. Orozco walks the bases loaded. They bring in Hershiser, who lied to Mark Cressy and said, Tommy sent me down here. Total lie. Cressy calls the dugout and says, did you send Oral down here? He says, no, I didn't send him. Tell him to go back to the hotel. And he says, but how does he? And he goes, but how does he look? And he says, he looks better than last night. He brings him in. He gets Kevin McReynolds. So he wins 2 games in the NLCS. He gets a save in the NLCS. Then we go to the World Series. The night after Gibson hits a home run, his parents throw out the game ball. He goes, he shuts out the Oakland A's, goes 9 innings, gives up 3 hits. He goes 3 for 3 with 2 doubles. Okay, that's game 2. Then he concludes it by winning game 6 in a complete game. He's the only player in MLB history that year, ever in history, to win the NLCS MVP, the Cy Young, and the World Series MVP. And by the way, I forgot to mention that he broke Don Drysdale's scoreless inning consecutive 59 consecutive innings. Now you give me a better season than that.
Look, I could give you 5. Bob Gibson in 68 right there. Denny McClain in 68. Koufax, Dwight Gooden in 85. I mean,
that's what the listeners are saying, and that doesn't compare. Doesn't compare.
It was a great. The final 2 months of that season is as good as any as I remember. And it's up there like that year Bumgarner for the Giants won like everything. Remember in that postseason?
Yeah. In fact, Bochy said that he.
It's an epic year. It's a top 10 year, no doubt. Maybe a top 5 year.
Oh, come on.
Like, I mean, look at Gibson in '68. The guy had 25 complete games. Okay, he had a 1.5 ERA. He had 300 strikeouts. I mean, he was so dominant. You can't even. Koufax one year was 27-6, right? Pedro in 99 and 2000. Pedro's ERA was 3 runs less than the league average. He had like a 1.5 ERA in the steroid era when the league average was 5. I mean, there's been better years, but I get it. Look, I'm not gonna. It's a top 5, top 6 year.
Nobody. The last 101 innings of that season, his ERA was 0.44. He was giving up a half a. He wasn't giving up a half a run an inning for the last 100 innings of the season. Greatest season ever.
The season that was 2.1, which is very ordinary. I mean, DeGrom has done that multiple times. Like it was an epic run, but he also blew out his arm after that. Like he was never good after that year. He put it all out there.
Yeah, that night.
He was never the same after that.
No, he really wasn't. Yeah, he really wasn't. I still say that's the best season ever.
Up there. I mean, to me, Gibson had the all-time greatest season. I think Carlton in '74, the guy won 27 of the team's 59 games.
Yeah.
Pretty good season. I think Dwight Gooden, look, I'm biased. Dwight Gooden, 85, 24-4, 1.54 ERA as a 21-year-old. I think Guidry had 27 wins in '77. I mean, there's been some. Denny McClain's 31. If you want to talk about baseball records that will never be touched, I think we talked this last time. I've changed my answer. It's from, I was saying Nolan Ryan's 383 strikeouts. I'm now saying Denny McClain's 31 wins in '68. Think about it. You don't even get 31 starts now.
Yeah.
I have 31 wins.
Yeah.
Like as far as records that will never be sniffed.
Well, the record that'll never be broken, and I think it's Joe Nuxall through 2 consecutive no hits. Johnny Vandermeer. Yep, you're right. Johnny Vandermeer. 2 consecutive. Nobody breaks that. Yeah, nobody's going to break. Nobody's going to throw 3 consecutive no hitters.
You probably don't know, but in 1932, Thomas Sewell had 3 strikeouts and 526 at bats.
Thomas Sewell, the black author?
Not him. He's Sewell. SEWELL.
Oh, okay. All right.
Had 3 strikeouts in 576 at bats.
Really?
Think about that. 3.
That's crazy.
I mean, Tony Gwynn had a couple years under 20.
Yeah.
Staggering.
And Yogi Berra had some.
DiMaggio had 7 seasons where he hit more home runs than he struck out.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's insane. That's
Yeah.
madness.
It is. By the way, your videos are now popping up. I watch Reels at night on my phone. Your videos are popping up all over Reels.
They should. We're doing huge numbers. People seem to, for whatever reason, like us.
Yeah. What's the latest? Anything?
I'm doing a larger video on more Hollywood guys that fought during World War II. Did you know Johnny Carson fought in the Pacific on the USS Pennsylvania?
I did.
Ed McMahon and Doc Severinsen all fought in World War II.
Ed McMahon was a colonel in the United States Marines.
In the Marines.
Yeah. He's a badass pilot.
He flew 85 combat missions in Korea.
Yeah. Those are really interesting. Those are the ones that are popping up. Your ones on celebrities. Those are really, really good. All right, Pop. Always great to see you. Always great to talk to you. Appreciate it. And I'm sure we'll talk to you soon. All right, man. Nick Ragone. Quick timeout. Back half of the hour. It's TRBS on a Friday on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. We're streaming live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. President Trump has filed a lawsuit against the Wall Street Journal and Medium.
So where'd you find Sean? They just posted it late?
I told you, it posted right as the
Yeah.
right as the show started. The segment. Look at that. So yeah,
Cool. What's going on with you? How's the mouth? Mouth, didn't you have orthodontia done yesterday?
Oh, yeah, I lost my jailed Americans in exchange for
No.
getting home
Where were you in
schools
Texas?
for migrants. deported by the United States to El Salvador months ago.
Really?
How do you not remember?
I was about to say, come on now.
My flight was paid for. I was picked up. I didn't even need to worry about
Who flew you to Texas?
my uncle.
And you don't know where your uncle lives?
Nope.
Oh my God.
I bought your ticket.
Youth is wasted on the young. You don't know where you traveled to. Did you fly into DFW? Dallas, Fort Worth?
I did fly there, but we rode an hour and a half.
North, south, east, west. You have no idea. Jesus Christ.
I'm Bill Robbins.
Oh
A
my
76-year-old
God.
man from Bakersfield has been sentenced to life in prison for killing a 29-year-old woman whom he was interested in. She told him he was too old and wanted no part of it. But Martin Renee Williams would not give up after she saw Latasha Jones dating another man.
What up, baby?
So we're at it with Ragone. He says Bob Gibson in 68, Denny McClain winning 31 games in one season.
Overall. I mean, 31
Gibson won, and they didn't win the World Series. And Gibson did. Cardinals won that year, but I still say, dude went 3 for 3, had 2 doubles. I mean, come on.
I'm Bill Robbins in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour or when it breaks on news.
Have we discovered where we visited?
AM 1180 KERN.
No one wants to leave behind stress for their family. That's why a trust or a will is so important.
And what did you do? And that's wherever that is.
Or leave out loved ones. Also, probate is long, expensive, and often avoidable with a revocable trust.
That'd be fun.
Trustandwill.com
Yeah, I know. That'd be fun as hell. On a river?
A trust or will
That wasn't flooded?
and peace of mind. Get 20% off
It was
on your
literally,
estate
we came
plan
back and that's when
documents by
everything
visiting
happened.
trustandwill.com.
Oh, it happened after, before you were there?
Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional
After you
hacks,
left.
and sometimes it's an
Wow.
overworked accountant who forgot to include their connection while sending bank details. And you need LifeLock because your info is in endless places. It only takes one mistake to expose you to identity theft. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year. Promo code news at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
We have an employee that we all adore, young Lisa, and her husband recently retired. And right before he did that, and I didn't coerce her, she listens to the program, she hears Daniel Petrie on Thursdays, and he became a client at Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors. And if you're staying retirement in the mug like I strongly suggest you call Daniel at 395-9400, 395-9400, or tune in on Thursdays. He joins us at 4:30, talking about retirement, stocks, deficit, what's going on in DC, and most importantly, how it impacts you and your wallet. Tune in on Thursdays, 4:30, to Daniel Petrie with Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors.
I missed that. I missed that.
Buy or sell any security, feature, option, or other financial instrument, or to offer or provide any investment advisory or other services to any person in any. It was in the Ragone break, so I just had to move it.
Oh, okay.
Any views expressed in this broadcast by us are prepared based upon the information available to us at the time, and we are under no obligation to update our views.
I'm JR Flores. Catch my show, The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Someone in the chat room made a good point. Suggested that I remind everyone listening that as I do every Friday, I'm wearing my Jackie Robinson jersey that I got on April the 15th on Jackie Robinson night. Big dog Mike Parent takes me every Jackie Robinson night. And then he swears we're going to go to more games, and we never do. I'm just kidding, big dog. Of course we're going to another game.
Right.
So the point is, you should subscribe to Chris,
Kern Radio at YouTube.
and you
On
can
YouTube, I apologize, not at YouTube.
and you can actually watch us do the broadcast. See the guests that come in. Mr. Bentley has agreed. We've almost summed up the week that I'm gone. I'm gone. My birthday is August 3rd. It's a Sunday night. And I'm taking that following week, the 4th through the 8th. Kathy is sitting in on Monday. Teresa Goldner is sitting in on Tuesday. I have forgotten, because I'm an old man, to call Howard. I'm going to suggest that he come down the mountain and host the show on Wednesday. I do not have a Thursday guest because I don't think Mr. Turnipseed would want to do 3 hours, and I don't think. And on Friday, Mr. Bentley is going to do it, but I will offer it to Mr. Turnipseed. You think Turnipseed can do 3 hours?
Yeah, Turnipseed. He's done it in the past.
Has he?
Yeah, it was a while ago, but he's done it in the past.
All right. Well, I'll suggest. I don't know why I haven't called him or Howard. And if you're listening, Howard, the invitation goes out.
Have we not hit up old reliever, old reliable?
Who's so reliable?
The man that Scott Cox called Orton Dirt, Mr. Dick Taylor.
No, I have not called Dick Taylor. I thought I would offer the regulars first opportunity.
Fair enough.
And then I've got a guy, David Dowdy, who has been asking me to fill in. And I might have, if the regulars don't, if I can't get Howard and Turnipseed, I might get Dick to do it one day and then David Dowdy to do it the other. But we'll see. 842-5376, 842-KERN. Who you got?
You got Jim.
Jim, you're on the Ralph Bailey Show. Good, good. How's it going?
Yeah, I got a wild idea.
What do you got?
You don't have a guest host for Thursday?
Not yet, but I'm pretty sure I will. I'm not.
No.
It's not problematic.
No. Why don't you open it up to your listeners and come up with a contest and give them 1 hour each? Come on now. I know it's risky.
Exactly. Exactly.
No. Wait a minute. It's crazy and risky, but man, what an opportunity.
Well, I can tell you right now, management and Mr. Brandon would not go for that because it's the responsibility. What if we bring in some psycho that comes in here and is cursing and screaming and saying AGM sucks and Ralph Bailey sucks and J.R. Flores is right behind him and Scott Cox is horrible and we can't stop it, you know? It's a great concept. It's a great idea, but and the second reason is they couldn't do it. I know this seems really simple and really easy, but it's not. It's a very difficult thing to do. In fact, that's why I love for my regulars to do it, so they appreciate what I do. Because as I just passed Kathy, yesterday? When did Kathy fill in for JR? She was like, I don't know how you do 3 hours. I just did an hour. And good googly moogly. It's more difficult than you think. It really is.
It is very difficult. I will agree with that. But if you have a best of Ralph and you have 3 segments, you put a guy, you interview him, you take care of him, and then guess what? If they screw up, you cut them off the air and you put the best of them. I think it'd be exciting. I'm not Brandon.
Well, yeah, exactly. First of all, management wouldn't go for it. And second of all, even if management said they'd okay it, I wouldn't do it. It's a very dangerous idea, but I appreciate the thought. And yeah, it'd be nice, but no, not going to happen. Not going to happen. I can't. That's why I would never do it in a million years. Not in a million years.
Here's the thing.
And then they do something stupid, and then I'm sitting in HR. No. And JR wouldn't even go for it. He's the program director. We wouldn't have to get to Billy or Mr. Brandon. JR would be like, have you lost your ever-loving mind? No. It's a great idea in concept, but in reality, this is a business. This is a business. Just don't let anybody walk in off the street and get in front of a microphone. And I know, because I've always said this, anybody can do a radio show. Anybody can get in front of this thing and talk, but can you do it and entertain and be informative and hit the spots and do the live shots and the boop and the bop and all that goes in to doing a radio show? Can you pull that off? And not very many people can. Trust me on this. 842-5376, 842-KERN. What do you got on the board?
Hey, Ralph, the board of directors can remove him as CEO.
Yeah, but I don't know if they would do that because of a kiss cam situation. Yeah, I understand how corporate America works. I really do. But no, you can't remove
Scandal
this.
with the HR lady though.
Good. What's proven? What's proven?
True.
That they were at a concert together and they were all hugged up. You know, he's going to deny everything to the bitter end. They're both going to say, I don't know what you're talking about. Now, the HR lady, she's done. You can stick a fork in her. And maybe not. Maybe they suspend her without pay or, you know, who knows? They just look so stupid guilty. It's just, I mean, and what were they thinking? Just because even if you're not on the kiss cam, what if there's an employee at the concert and they're like, hey, Chris, you know who that is? That's Rogers Brandon hugging up on our HR woman. Imagine if we're at a concert and we see Rogers hugged up on our HR woman. It doesn't have to be on the kiss cam. You're just spotted. You're out there. That's what I was just like. I can't imagine having an affair and going to a concert with my side chick and thinking I'm good. You know what I'm saying? With like what? I don't know how many people showed up at that Coldplay concert, but there had to be at least what, 20,000, 30,000 people there. It's just really, I don't know. 842-5376, 842-KERN. We got some other things we're going to get to in just a second. We'll talk about the Epstein situation. What is going on?
Now we got a slew of listeners. I know you're all calling about the same thing because this is
Get
all
'em in.
brought up because
Get 'em
of-
in.
yeah,
Get 'em
none
in.
of them are on the line because it's all the same question. It's all the same answer. They want you to bring Cindy on to do the show on Thursday.
We've got to take a break.
Yes, we do.
No, we don't take a break. We don't take a break. No, I'm not bringing in Cindy. I might bring in Cindy as a guest.
There you go.
That would be fun. Maybe the next time a big issue pops up, Cindy and I can go at it live in studio, particularly now that we are basically broadcasting television on YouTube. That might be fun. I've never met Cindy, but no, let's calm down, everybody. This is a business, and I have to answer to people. Mr. Flores is the program director. Billy Smith is our general manager, and a man by the name of Rogers Brandon owns the company. Okay, those kind of decisions are way past my pay grade. So stop suggesting, please. It's no. Anything unrelated to this broadcast? What do you got?
Mario was chimed in.
Mario, what's really going on?
He says Sandy Koufax in 1965 is better.
No. Do you people understand that Mr. Hershiser came in the night after he pitched 9 innings? And with the Dodgers down 2-1 in the series, meaning that if he had walked somebody, he comes in with the bases loaded the night after he pitched. And if he had walked somebody, the Dodgers go down 3-1 in that series, and we don't ever see the World Series. And instead, with no rest, based on a total lie, he lied to Tommy, or he lied to Mark Cressy, the pitching coach or the bullpen guy, and said, Tommy sent me down here, which was a total lie. Cressy, he warms up. Cressy calls back and says, Tommy, did you send Oral down? He says, hell no. But how does he look? He looks better than he did last night. And he comes in and saves the day. We go 2-2 instead of 3-1. And then 4 nights later, he wins game 7 to get us into the World Series. Then game 2, he allows 3 hits. He gets 3 hits. He was a pitcher, and he got a pair of doubles and a single on the night that his parents threw out the first pitch, and he went 9 innings. And again, remember who he shut out. Don Baylor, Hall of Famer. Jose Canseco, without the steroids, Hall of Famer. Mark McGwire, without the steroids, Hall of Famer. Dave Parker, about to be a Hall of Famer. Terry Steinbach, you may not remember him, but he was a badass catcher. This wasn't some schmo team. This was they'd win the World Series, what? The next year. The very next year, they swept. Who'd they sweep? Do you remember who they swept in 89? Hey, Siri, who did the Oakland A's beat in 1989?
Here's an answer from Wikipedia.
Ah, they beat the Stinky Smellies. They swept the Stinky Smellies a year later. This was a very good team. And dude manhandled them. You guys have lost your mind. You too, Mario. What's the matter with you? You're supposed to be a Dodger fan. Oh, he did say Koufax. Yeah, Koufax, that's one of the best seasons ever. You can pick any one of those seasons in the 60s at Sandy. When he beat the Twins, when we swept the Yankees. Yeah. And I've always said that he's the greatest Dodger pitcher. By the way, did you get that audio? Did I send you Kershaw audio? Oh, we're going to play that. Let's play that right now, as a matter of fact. Oh, no, well, let's take a break. When we come back, we're just having some fun on a Friday. We'll hear from Clayton Kershaw. We played you the audio of him being mic'd up during the All-Star game. This is from his press conference after the game. I think it's worth hearing if you're a Dodger fan. I'm assuming most of you are Dodger fans, and the rest of you are god-awful stinky smelly fans, so what's even better than I'm going to play it. Tonight, Dodgers 7-10 at the stadium, taking on Milwaukee. Tyler Glasnow takes the ball for the Dodgers. And speaking of Clayton Kershaw, he's on the bump on Sunday. Trying to get some payback. The Brewers swept us for the first time ever in the great state of Wisconsin. What's the capital of Wisconsin, Chris Burdick?
Not Green Bay.
No.
Oh, God.
Where's the University of Wisconsin?
To be honest with you, I'm drawing a blank.
Madison, Wisconsin. I think.
It was a woman's name.
I think. Hey, Siri, what's the capital of Wisconsin?
Madison.
Yeah, it's Madison. Daisy, did you know that? Our trainee Daisy just visited Texas. Sorry, this is what we do on the show. We tell each other's business. You should have heard me grilling him on his date the other night.
Oh, that's true.
It's what we do. Sorry, it's what we do. She went to Texas, and she literally couldn't tell us where in Texas she went. You know what you should have said, which would have been funny, because I write my own lines. Texas is a big state. She's like, yes, I flew into DFW, and then we drove for an hour and a half. I have no idea where we were. No. Quick break, coming right back. It's TRBS on Friday, right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. We're streaming live at kernradio.com.
JR for Bakersfield Weight Loss. Do you want to know the secret to resetting your metabolism so you can get your excess weight off and keep it off? The secret is Bakersfield Weight Loss. I've been working out for years, cutting calories and not seeing the scale move. It was because of my metabolism. That's what sets the Bakersfield Weight Loss program apart from others. They help you stop the yo-yo dieting and reset your metabolism to burn calories faster and keep your weight off for good. You may have tried the GLP-1s like semaglutide injections to lose weight, only to find out that you had terrible side effects and you didn't lose much weight. And if you did, you just gained it all back after going off the drugs. It's time to take control of your metabolism and end the cycle of weight gain and frustration. The Bakersfield Weight Loss Program helped me reset my metabolism, and I lost 25 pounds last year, and I've kept it off. This program has helped over 70,000 people lose weight by resetting their metabolism to keep their weight off for good. Schedule that free consultation today by calling 661-449-1150 or online at bakersfieldweightloss.com. Results may vary.
Hey, everybody, it's that man again, Ralph Bailey for Adaptive Network. You know, it's funny or coincidental that I'm talking to you about Adaptive Network because they literally just left our studios. That's right. We've teamed up with Adaptive Network because they are the best in town when it comes to IT. And, you know, the biggest mistake companies make with their IT is not having a plan. Like I've talked about, as a radio station, when our IT goes down, you hear nothing. So we can't just wait and say, oh, well, we'll call our IT guy the very next day. We have to have a plan, disaster recovery, security policies, and compliance that all often get ignored. And they also talk about antivirus. Today's cyber threats need layered security, firewall,
Did she leave?
protection, and monitoring.
Did she leave?
That's why we've teamed up with Adaptive.
Oh, I thought I scared her off.
You should as well. Call them today at 0638. That's 241-0638. Adaptive Network, your IT partner in Bakersfield, making it simple, stable, and secure.
Hey, it's Mike Rohn. If I have a choice, I like to do business with companies that actually stand for something. That's why I switched from Verizon to Pure Talk. No offense to Verizon, I'm sure they stand for something. I just don't know what it is. Pure Talk, on the other hand, is a veteran-owned company that supports our military in a big way, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I also appreciate unlimited talk and text and plenty of data for half the cost of the big guys, and I do like being on America's most dependable 5G network for just $20 a month. But what I really appreciate is no contract, no cancellation fees, and Pure Talk's commitment to handle all their customer service in this country. I saw it for myself. I went to Georgia, I got a tour of their headquarters, I met their CEO, and I talked to the same customer service folks that you'll talk to when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Switch today and save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
This is a special notice to U.S. taxpayers owing $10,000 or more to the IRS. Tax Relief Advocates is urgently notifying taxpayers that tax relief initiatives are now available that may significantly reduce or eliminate what you owe. If you're afraid of an IRS lien, levy, or wage garnishment, don't lose hope. You can now take advantage of these current relief programs to end all collections, reduce the amount you owe, and resolve your tax problem. Even if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are already in a payment plan, you may still qualify for significant relief. Struggling taxpayers can now get relief they need during these hard economic times. A hotline has been established by Tax Relief Advocates for you to call and see what you qualify for. They are A+ rated with the BBB and have over 1,000 5-star reviews. Don't wait. Call 800-575-7147. 800-575-7147. That's 800-575-7147, or simply visit TRA.com.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary. The Charlie Kirk Show, weekdays at 6 p.m. on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show.
Eight 842-537-6842 KER. Daisy, what is your last name?
Canal.
Canal? Daisy Canal is running the broadcast. She is training to become a producer here, and she's running the show. Are you running it till 6 o'clock?
Yeah, I'm here till 6.
Okay, this ought to be rich. No, I'm kidding. You're doing fine. Let's play this. Hey, by the way, I've been meaning to say this all week since I watched the ESPYs. You both can answer this. Did you know that Megan Thee Stallion?
Dating Klay Thompson?
Yes.
Yeah, this is new. This is a new thing.
I did not know that.
Lucky.
I'm watching the ESPYs, and I'm like, ooh, look at Megan Thee Stallion. And that looks like, nah. But I swear that looks like Klay Thompson. That's not Klay Thompson. I'm sitting there arguing with myself, and I'm like, there's no way that's Klay Thompson. So, of course, I go to my mobile computer, and I say, Sarah, who is Megan Thee Stallion dating? Megan Thee Stallion is dating former Golden State Warrior Klay Thompson. And I'm like, what? Where does Klay Thompson meet Megan Thee Stallion?
On a boat, apparently.
On a cruise?
Oh, no. He's a boater. Like, he is always out on his boat.
So how did they meet? She's just hanging out at the harbor?
I was just being funny. Probably. I have no idea. He lives in Dallas now, so I assume it's somewhere in that area because that's what he plays for, is the Mavericks.
Right, and she doesn't live in Dallas. There's no way in the world. Maybe, but
Texas.
Beyonce's from Houston, but she ain't living in Houston. Ain't no way. You think that girl's she's either living in New York, LA, or Atlanta, or maybe Miami. Ain't no way she's living in Dallas. Megan, well, let's find out. Hey, Siri. And I love doing that because everybody's phones in their cars go off. Where does Megan Thee Stallion live?
Megan Thee Stallion resides in Houston, Texas.
Holy crap. She lives in Houston.
I'm sorry. What was that now?
Houston. Well, anyway, he lives in Dallas. It's not like Houston is like Fort Worth, next door to Dallas. Hey Siri, how far is Dallas from Houston?
You got a jet, don't matter.
Texas is about 239 miles.
Yeah, 239 miles. Like it's like me living in LA. Well, that's not that far. Hell, you're going to Visalia every night.
Not every night.
All right, so what were we going to ask Miss Canal? I even forgot now.
You were going to go to the Kershaw.
Oh yeah, but I want to ask. What were we going to ask Canal? What were we going to ask you, Daisy?
Oh, are we talking about the concert situation?
Is that what it was?
Are we
I'm an old man.
to the Coldplay CEO?
Oh yeah. What was that? Tell that story. That you got caught somewhere? Or what was that all about? Let's hear this.
I was at a concert that I got tickets from you guys.
Yeah.
And me and one of the other promo went together, and I did not know that management's booth was right behind.
Why? So why couldn't you go with somebody from work?
It was very clear that I wasn't there as a friend.
So you're dating somebody here at the gig?
You know this.
Your boyfriend works for us?
Yeah.
Did I know that? I knew that? I guess I did know that. Yeah, I think you did tell me that. But I can't tell you what I had for dinner last night. So yeah, management often frowns on, it didn't used to be like that. In the 20th century, it wasn't like that. I was such an idiot, as the audience knows. I worked for a newspaper and dated the managing editor's daughter, which is about as idiotic a thing that I've ever done in my career, but it is what it is. But you can get away with that back in the 20th century. Now, HR, because relationships eventually go sour, and if they go sour in the studio or in the deal, I don't want to work with him. I got to work with him at Mac and Cheese. I don't want to work. I'm not working with her. And it's not, Used to not be like that. Look at television. Robin Mangarin, Jim Scott, Todd Carley, and Jackie Parks. Remember the redhead that used to be our weather guy that became famous and went to CNN? He was dating Susan Ford, who was a reporter at 17. I mean, I've always said it's the dumbest rule on the books in workplaces, because you don't get to choose who you work for. You see the people you work with more than you see your family, literally. You spend 40, 45, 50 hours a week with these people, and they understand what you're going through. If it's like a difficult job. Did you guys just order Uber Eats?
No, she had a phone situation yesterday that she's trying to fix at the moment. So she had the phone delivered.
You had your phone from Verizon? Verizon just delivered you a phone?
I think this was a friend being nice kind of a situation.
Oh, AT&T. I can't read that because of the glare.
AT&T.
Yeah, okay. All right. 842-5376, 842-KERN.
Trying to aid her,
I hear you. I saw the woman pull up. I got a front row view. I saw her and I was like, is that Uber Eats? She's coming in here with a bag? We head to the final hour of the week. We will get into, I will play that audio of Clayton Kershaw at the All-Star game. It's good stuff. I'm a big Clayton Kershaw fan. I like Clayton Kershaw as a person more than I do as a pitcher. He's a really good guy. We'll get into that. Plus, the Epstein story continues. We've got some audio from Jeffrey Epstein's attorney, and he shed some light on this thing. You'll hear that when we come back. I would stick around if I you.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Keith Peters in Washington.
I've got you under my skin. I've got you
did
Deep
advance a
in the
resolution calling
heart
for the
of
Justice Department to release information related to Jeffrey Epstein.
The Republicans on the Rules Committee, most of them that were present, voted against Democrat amendments to try to hijack that. That was the right thing for them. They were wrongfully tarred and feathered by people who did not understand what was happening and said that they were covering up for, they were in favor of concealing Epstein files. It's simply not true.
And the Trump administration today is asking a federal court to unseal secret documents related to the Epstein case.
Never will
It's an effort to
go
put to
so
rest for good a
well.
political crisis largely of the administration's own making.
But why should I try to resist?
Act into law, creating the first US
Baby,
crypto
I
regulation
know
with
so well.
Trump says this is
My skin.
Crypto capital of the world, and that's what we've done. And this is only going further.
with bipartisan support introduces consumer protections to boost confidence in the crypto industry. Venezuela has released 10 jailed Americans in exchange for getting home scores of migrants deported by the United States to El Salvador months ago under the Trump administration's immigration crackdown. The arrangement represents a diplomatic achievement for Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. It helps President Trump in his
Hey, we're losing Dave?
Americans jailed.
We're not losing him, but he's
On Wall Street, the Dow down by 142 points. The Nasdaq rose 10. The S&P down a fraction. More townhall.com.
He's going back down south, I guess.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audine Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like
Wow.
it better than my old $5,000 hearing
Good
aid.
God.
I cannot believe how my hearing and life changed. Join over 1 million happy customers by going to AudienHearing.com.
We're losing
That's
Dave?
AUDIEN Hearing.com.
Well, I just got this email about this say it soon.
For a degree he couldn't use, now what? They even helped him get hired immediately after
So we're
graduation.
losing. So we're losing.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
Inject it with body bag cases
Student
and
experience, individual results.
really
From
close
the
facility in
KERN
Southeast.
Newsroom. You're live and local
So
news
it's like
update on
6 weeks something process.
96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
We shall see, Mr.
I think he's not scheduled to leave until like early August, but Jen said we're gonna try to do this little once we can comfortably give him a buffer that way in case he needs to leave earlier than planned. We're still left. And I think it might
He
be
was
Friday.
bipolar and off his meds.
And I didn't get the message that it's Aqua Green Day.
One of their kids. After failed negotiations, officers tased Hara. He's being held on $100,000 bail.
So you feel comfortable?
From Bring Back the Kern is headed
No?
back to the California
Not yet?
Supreme Court
Yeah.
on Wednesday. The court
What'd you do to
announced
your phone?
a decision from the Fifth District Court of Appeals that overturned a previous ruling that they need to keep water in the
I keep forgetting that you were like 25 years old.
three-year-long
Don't know where you were in Texas. Going to Six Flags, losing your phone on a ride. What were you on a roller coaster? Did you find it? Your wallet flew out too? And you found the phone but couldn't find the wallet. Somebody must have picked it up. Somebody must have grabbed it. Was the phone destroyed? Oh, that's it?
Yeah, that's what I've been using.
Holy crap.
Hey, what's up? Turn your mic off.
Oh, shh. Be okay, listening. My mic's hot.
Thank you, Lisa.
Who?
Yes. Talk about it. It's not my baby.
Oh, relax. Are you serious?
Earlier in the week or something.
Call in or
text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for, live from the KERN studio. Here's Ralph Bailey.
Final hour of the week as we wrap up another 5 days of outstanding radio broadcasting right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. We're streaming live at kernradio.com. We got lots to do in the final hour. Talk a little sports, as we have really a lot in this broadcast, but we got some other serious things to do. We'll talk about high-speed rail. And you will hear from Jeffrey Epstein's attorney, who was on the record with CNN about his thoughts on where this whole Epstein story is going. 842-5376, 842-KERN. But first, let's take a look. What do you got on the board? Because I'm assuming we're way behind there a bunch.
Sorry, we are waiting for my computer to work.
And most of them, I'm assuming, are about the greatest season or what else?
Some of them are.
All right,
We got a couple for the movie here.
All right, what do you got?
Love Story with Ali McGraw.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, there are a couple of times you cry in Love Story. That's a great suggestion. I don't know if Ragone would consider that. Is that a chick flick? I think Love Story is a chick flick. Have you seen Love Story?
You know, I've heard of it. I probably have in passing, but I
Probably not. No, it's an old movie. It's I was a little kid. It was the 70s. Ryan O'Neal and Ali McGraw, who at the time was married to Robert Evans. And then she did The Getaway with Steve McQueen, and he lost his wife. Evans produced the film, hired McQueen, and McQueen stole his wife from him. Although the relationship between Ali McGraw and Steve McQueen was never really good. In fact, I think she has written in her memoirs that Steve used to put his hands on her, which really bummed me out because I was a huge Steve McQueen fan. I saw Papillon when I was like 11 or 12 years old. And I'm just a huge Steve McQueen nut. What else you got?
How about having Burdick, his ex, and his new girlfriend stand in for you? That's actually pretty funny.
That is funny. That's a base set up the middle.
He could explain why it's okay to be dating / hanging out with his old girlfriend. I'm not dating her. There's no dating going on.
With the ex.
The ex.
That's 3 years old and ex.
Yes.
And what's the latest with Visalia?
We are still steady. We're fine.
Did you talk to her yesterday?
A little bit of turbulence, but we're working on
A
it.
little bit of turbulence. Because Chris Fest, instead of just saying, who was that? That's a friend of mine that I've known for 3 years. Instead, Chris said, oh, that's my ex.
Sue me for being honest.
I just, Chris. I'm telling you, youth is wasted on the young. I swear to God. Who you got?
Daily Dave is making his call.
Dave, what's really going on?
Hey guys, great segment earlier talking about the sports. I mean, you said it briefly, but the pride of the Yankees might be number one.
Yeah, I cried a couple of times in the pride of the Yankees. Yeah. Gary Cooper, Teresa O'Neill.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, it was great. I mean, just from the time he's a baby or a little boy, breaking glass, you know, the window, and all the way to the end. Great movie. And I always liked the character actor, the guy. He's played so many. What's the one he plays where he saves the troop in 1917?
Sergeant York.
Sergeant York.
Yeah.
Two great programs.
I think he won an Academy Award for that.
I think so. Anyway, I was going to suggest, and I know Kerr is busy, but how about Kerr or Culver to help out when you need help?
Greg, I don't think he could spend 3 hours sitting in the studio. In fact, he's on the air at 5 and 6.
Yeah,
So.
it's like, I don't think it'll work.
No, that could not.
Speed's out of here right after his show. So.
Yeah.
Culver would be great. And then I think it's Oral Hershiser over Kopech myself, 1988.
For a season or a career?
Just for the season.
I agree.
The greatest season. And then, you know, did you hear what he said? I can't even watch Houston Astros play against the Dodgers because what Oral said, he goes, you know, if Oakland knows what I'm throwing in 1988, we don't win the World Series, you know. And I believe it. I mean, and then every time they come up to bat, I can't believe that they don't know what they're pitching at them. I don't know why.
And isn't it mighty suspicious that they scored like 18 runs against us?
I turned it off.
I didn't watch it either.
I couldn't watch. I just like, and I used to like Altuve. You know, I have a buddy that used to see him out in the desert when he was coming up, and he said this guy's good, and I believe he's good. But it's just like, why do you got to do that?
Yeah.
Why do you have to take it that far? So anyway, hey, how's your foot? You gonna get out and golf this weekend? You gonna lay low?
I have no idea. I'm walking better, but it still hurts. And when I swing and I move my weight from my right to my left, I cannot. I can't. It just is.
Just sit home, enjoy the Open. I've been watching a little bit of it too. You know, it's been a great few weeks here with all the tennis and Roland Garros and Wimbledon, all the sports. You know, the Dodgers scaring us there at the end. And what did you think of the? Did you watch the All-Star game?
I did. I love the All-Star game. I love the home run derby. I really did. Yeah. All right, Dave. Always good to hear from you, my brother. Thanks for the call.
Great show.
All right. Thank you, sir. 842-5376, 842-KERN. I got a couple of minutes before the break. Here is technically, statistically, the greatest pitcher that ever pitched for the Dodgers, Clayton Kershaw. This is his press conference after getting, because remember, Clayton Kershaw was not going to get into the All-Star game at 4-1 and his current ERA. Too small a sample size, even though they let Miz in from Milwaukee with 5 outings and 25 innings. But Kershaw was not going to get in at 4-1. He just wasn't. But MLB extended I don't know what do they call it, a Legends pick or whatever.
Legends choice.
Yeah. And he got in unexpectedly, and he was able to bring his wife and his 4 kids, and they had great seats. And here he is talking about it.
Just getting taken out of the game, you and Doc, just everyone showing appreciation to you.
It was a great night. It was so fun. It was awesome. So thankful for it now, and yeah, you know, whole family here get to see me pitch in an All-Star game again, and I didn't think it was going to happen, so it's pretty cool. I think, yeah, my initial response was just, you know, you don't ever want to take somebody's spot, or you don't ever want to be like a sideshow. You know, you just want to be a part of it if you deserve it. And you know, once I kind of understood that I wasn't taking anybody's spot, and that it was just like, you know, whatever they call it, legend pit, whatever. It just was it was a little uncomfortable, but now that I'm done with it, it was awesome. You know, I'm so glad I got to come and share with family and kiddos and all this stuff. It was a great thing. And, you know, Doc even let me say a couple things, you know, during the team meeting, which was awesome. You know, things that I would never volunteer for, but I also realized that the opportunity's there. And so I don't want to pass that stuff up. So I think it was all of it just pretty cool.
It's really cool to root for a good guy. You know what I mean? A good dad. He's best friends with Matthew Stafford. They grew up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and they played Little League. There's some great pictures. You've seen the pictures of them in Little League together?
Oh, yeah, him and Stafford.
I mean, I can't imagine. Can you imagine those 2 kids on a Little League team? I bet that team never lost a freaking game. You know what I'm saying?
I heard Stafford was actually the better pitcher.
I'm sure. He's got a stronger arm because he's like, well, CK's age, and he's still throwing bullets 40, 50, 60 yards. I'm not sure CK can throw a football 60 yards. I'm just not at this age. Maybe when he was a young kid and he threw a perfect game without anybody touching the ball, literally. He threw a perfect game and everybody struck out. And it was only, they stopped the game early. I put this on Facebook and I made a couple of errors. I first said it was 27 at bats, which would be a major league game. High school only played 1. And then somebody corrected me, said, well, actually, Ralph, they called the game. There's a 10-run rule. We don't have that in California. I wish they did because Crenshaw beat us. I can't even remember. It's 40 years. I don't even remember what the final score was. It was 11-0. All I remember was 11-0 after like the second inning, or after the first inning. It was 15-0 after 2 innings, and we had to take an ass whooping. There's no. But anyway, somebody pointed out that they stopped the game. They didn't even face the full. What's 7 times 3? 21. He faced like 15 hitters because they called the game. And he went 3 for 3, and he hit a grand slam home run. I'm telling you, I don't understand why, when you're young, on every baseball team I've ever been on, I don't know about you guys, the pitcher is the best athlete on the ball. Every team that I've ever been on, he's the pitcher, he's the shortstop, and sometimes maybe he plays center field. He's the best hitter on the team. And then they get him into college in the professional ranks, and they just say, you can't hit. But they don't say that in Japan, where Shohei has proven. Oh, that was another thing that, that's what I wanted to talk about. The article. There's a great article in today's LA Times that is assessing the Dodgers. And I'll break that down when we come back, because I want to get into this. Also, when we come back, we will wish a very dear friend of mine a happy birthday. Not going to say who it is, but I've talked about how I'm incredibly fortunate. I really am. I thought I was coming to Bakersfield to get my education, and I'd run back to Los Angeles and work for the LA Times. I got offered a gig as a correspondent for the Californian. So I said, all right, I'll hang around here and get some clips, and then I'll go to LA. And then I got hired as a staff writer, and I said, I'll get some more clips, and then I'll go to LA. And then I got into television. I said, what? Television? Yeah. Did that, and then stumbled into radio, and it's been 30 years. 30 years. But one of the great things that has happened to me in those 30 years is I've made some incredible friendships and been just embraced by several families in this community. The Arié family, Big Ed, Mike's dad, was incredibly kind to me before his death. And Mike is one of my closest friends on the planet. The Zucchini family has adopted me. Leroy and his wife is still alive, Chris's mom. And they are just incredible people. The Valpredo family have all but adopted me. They have been the safety net under my career as a sponsor. And Monty was just an incredibly delightful man. He's passed away, but Tonya is unbelievable, and she's been ridiculously kind to me, along with all of her children. And the Leary family. Once spent one of my best Father's Days, because I have a tough time on Father's Day. My dad passed away at 56. And one of the best Father's Day that I'll remember was at the Leary home. And I guess I just gave away whose birthday. I won't tell you which Leary's birthday it is until we come back. Then at the bottom of the hour, we'll get into the Epstein thing. You will hear from Jeffrey Epstein's attorney, who has some fairly interesting things you might want to hear. We'll do all that when we come back. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on a Friday, wrapping this thing up right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. We're streaming live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Start your day right. First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m.
Scott Cox here from the First Look program. I'm taking a couple of days off. Not really a vacation, not really going anywhere, just kind of a short, sweaty staycation, I suppose. But we'll be back Wednesday morning, bright and early, with brand new programming for you. You don't want to miss that. 6 to 9 a.m. right here at News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
It's that man again, Ralph Bailey for St. Garrison. Good news, the 2025 Super Sultana finally here. The 2025 Super Sultana is an IIHS top safety league laws. Right now, you can lease a brand new 2025 Sultana.
Who we calling? Oh, I'm just going to tell. No. Look at this video. I give it a month. I give it 3 months. He can't hang with her. She's too. out there and big, and he's like,
The ups and downs, dude. I don't know. Like some of those couples.
you got to have a big personality to hang with a girl like this. Klay Thompson with a rapper, really? They're horrendous. They're almost. Rick Bentley says they may be done. The Jimmy and Jimmy may be next. Did you know that Megan Thee Stallion is dating Klay Thompson? I give it 6 months tops. I was just showing them this video I found. Exactly, he's too nice. Look at him. She's partying. He's not.
Somewhere where it's all her like hood.
Exactly.
Look at it.
He's just too nice of a guy. He's vanilla and she's Rocky Road. Yeah, exactly. Hanging out with rappers and. Yeah, I give it a couple of months tops. I just found that out at the ESPYs.
December 31st.
Yep. The new year.
Right before.
Yep.
All right.
25 pounds. Not only that, I've kept the weight off. Give them a call. It's a free consultation. 661-449-1150. 661-449-1150 or online at bakersfieldweightloss.com.
Please meet Paul Sheldon's client, Vivian Rushing.
Hi, my name is Vivian Rushing. I am a client of Paul Sheldon. They helped me get everything in order. I had no clue what I was doing, and they were wonderful. The staff is amazing. Lynn and Kelly go out of their way to make you feel comfortable when you walk through the doors and make sure you have everything that you need. Paul is very accommodating. He uses himself as an example to help you understand the process of the insurance and what benefits you should be looking at, what you shouldn't be looking at, and how to go about getting it together. I have recommended Paul Sheldon just a couple of days ago. I was in line to get my medications, and this gentleman was talking about retiring and didn't know what to do. I told him, contact Paul Sheldon. He's the best. I just want to say thank you, Paul Sheldon. You're wonderful, and your staff is amazing.
When Medicare matters, our team has the answers. Team Paul Sheldon.
398-2298. The Armstrong and Getty Show, weekdays noon to 2 on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show.
I could do a whole segment on the chat room. I really could. I really could. There's one guy, John, who wrote, listen to this. This is the funniest thing in the world. I was in my early 20s when I first started listening to Ralph. That was over 20 years back. Still unsure if it's good radio. Okay, let me get this straight. Exactly. You've been listening to me for 2 decades, but you're on the fence on whether I'm good or not.
Pretty sure that word's being good.
As I always say to anybody who critiques my show, but listens, just be honest. Just tell the truth. If you get a ratings book, tell the truth. You may not think I'm good, but you listen. So please write that down. I'm not asking you to write me down. I'm asking you to be honest and you listen. 49er Larry, you listen every day. You can't stand me. I was on vacation. I wasn't on vacation. I was home with a bad foot. And you suggested to JR that they fire me. And then you called the next day when I showed up and wanted to have a conversation with me. It's like, really? You want to hear some more? Somebody suggested that I stop hitting on Daisy. Did you know that I was hitting on you? Did you know that? Old enough to be your damn grandfather, and I'm hitting on a 25-year-old girl. Okay, fine. I guess I'm hitting on Burdick, too, because I go in and talk to Chris during my breaks. Am I hitting on Randy when I go down the hall and talk to him and say things on this open mic that I shouldn't say? And you know what, you're going to have to start training me, and after every break, turn off your mic now.
I tried to do that. You told me.
Because, I don't care, but I made a serious error today. That wasn't, the error that I made today ain't funny. If I curse and I do say something stupid, I really don't care about that, to be honest with you. And apparently it came up in a sales meeting, my open mic. But what I did today was a horrendous. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. That's not funny. That's somebody's business, and that I'm gonna apologize to him because that's not funny. That's a very, very serious deal. What are some other highlights in here? Take the gun out. Don't put the gun in your mouth. I did a simulated suicide when Big Dave was just going on and on and on. What else do I got? Oh, there's a rumor that JR and Scott are no longer with us because they're both on vacation. Somebody writes, damn, JR and Scott are both off. Rumors must be true. The rumors are true, and I'm going to confirm it right now. I'm going to confirm it right now, here and now, for everyone to hear. I'm not Donald Trump. I'm going to open up the JR and Scott files right here for you. I'm going to break a news story. Scott's taking some time off, and he's coming back, and JR is on vacation. There it is. I've opened up the files. Scott's taking time off. He's on vacation. JR is on vacation. And then I'm going on vacation August 4th, but believe me, I'm coming. Well, I may not come back after I do what I do today, but I believe I'll be coming back as well. Those are the rumors. Life in radio. 842-5376, 842-KERN. Why today? Like all week, we've had like just a few people in the chat room. We've averaged about, I've been going home and grimacing and watching like the first segment. I can't get past the first segment.
It's a different thing when you're watching yourself.
I just can't do it. Although I like the fact that my shirt didn't look wrinkled yesterday, and it was extremely wrinkled. I got it out of the dryer, and I was like, I'm not ironing this thing. I run into, you got to understand my workplace. I run into 5 people in the 4 hours that I'm here. Chris, Daisy sometimes, who I'm hitting on apparently, Randizzle, Snacks, and Lisa comes and visits us sometimes. That's about, literally, that's the 5 people I see every day. And Lisa doesn't come over every day, although we wish she would. Because Lisa is a big part of this broadcast, boy. You have no idea. She is the executive producer. Would you tell Ralph if I, okay, all right.
I've tried.
That is, it's not, well, today it's not funny. Today it's not funny because I did make a serious error. But I don't care if they hear me curse, but I'm gonna get called in. Because it was brought up in a sales meeting, apparently. So I'm gonna get called in.
Did you actually ever have that sit down with our general manager?
Why are you telling our shop business?
No, I meant like the good one, the one that we talked about at the last event.
No, not really. Because I've been with the foot. But yeah, I'm taking him to lunch.
And actually, he was in Hawaii too.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. No, I'm taking him to lunch. We're going to go to Luigi's soon. Our general manager, Billy Smith, who's been with us and has radically changed things around here to much the better. Much the better. Much the better. Oh, you people. You crack me up. You really do. JR and Scott take some time off. And there's rumors that what? That we're going to fire them? Like, really? You people, boy. Well, that's the scandal. They're on vacation, and I soon will be. So you can start the rumor mill about me, I guess, too. Last half hour of the broadcast, I have got to get to the Epstein story because I want you to hear Jeffrey Epstein's attorney, Dave Schoen, who says some pretty radical things. You will hear from him when we come back. It's the Ralph Bailey Show. Don't go anywhere.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
The way you squeeze and tease knocks me to my knees, and I'm smoking, baby, baby. The way you swerve and curve really rocks my nerves. I'm so excited, child. Woo, woo, way you push, makes me know that you're gonna get your wish. Oh, Lord, fire. Fire. I could have been an Ohio player. If I had been older in the 70s, I could have been an Ohio player. I wonder whatever happened to the Ohio players. They didn't because all these bands have been revived. The Stones are still performing. Lionel Richie still performs. He said goodbye to the Commodores a long time ago, but he's still performing. Last time I was in Vegas, he was in Vegas. He was on a billboard playing somewhere. I think it was at the Sahara doing shows and 2 nights on Saturday. But the Ohio players just kind of fizzled out. You know who else never really languished that long? Earth, Wind, and Fire. Although Philip Bailey went on and had his own, my uncle Philip Bailey. That was another lie I used to tell in 6th grade. That Philip Bailey was related to my family. And it was believable because he was dark skinned like my dad. I was a pathological liar until I was about 7th grade. Yeah, it was horrible. Please stand by. No, not yet. Please stand by. Want to wish Gary Leary a happy 83rd birthday. As I mentioned, the Leary family is one of those families that over the years, I hung out with their sons, Anthony and Joey, when we were all young. Oh, those years. Oh. And they're one of the families, as I mentioned, the Zucchini family, the Valprados, the Arias, that have just been extraordinarily kind to me over the years. I don't know why. That's why I always say I'm just one of the luckiest guys. If I fell dead tonight after I eat my double cheeseburger and French fries and watch the Dodger game, yeah, that's on the menu tonight. Juicy burger. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. A little red meat. Not going to be bad for my leg, my foot. But they're just one of the families that has absolutely been ridiculously kind to me. And like I said, I had spent one of my best Father's Days because I have a tough time on Father's Day, having lost my father at a young age at their house. We went swimming and barbecued. And it's one of the best memories I've had on a Father's Day. Because I almost got fired on Father's Day. I almost got fired when I was working at the other station. A sales executive called me on Father's Day, and I'm struggling. This is fairly recently after my father died. My father died in 99, and so this is like 2005. He's only been dead for 6 years, and I'm really struggling. Like the first decade my dad died, after he died, I really struggled. August 17th, his birthday, and Father's Day, I really struggled. And in May, because I knew that was when my parents' wedding anniversary was. And a sales executive called me about something ridiculous. And I was like, why are you calling me on a Sunday? And I drank a lot back in those days and was probably drunk as a skunk. And I cursed her out as if she had stolen from my mama. And Monday morning got called into HR and damn near got fired. And the only thing that saved me was I said, well, my father passed away a couple of years ago because I was working for them when my dad died. And I struggled on Father's Day. I have PTSD. And I really did for about 10 years. I really did have like PTSD where I would just go into this depression. I didn't want to go anywhere. That's why when the Learys extended that invitation, it was gargantuan because I was always like, no. And Anthony and Gary, like, come on, Anthony and Gary and Deborah were like, come on, Ralph, just come to the house. We're going to swim. I'm like, no. And I was like, all right. And I reluctantly did it. Had time of my life. And that helped me start to get over obsessing about it, and just do something fun on Father's Day instead of obsessing about it, which normally falls on during the U.S. Open. So I normally spend it watching golf. All right, I got to get to this. But again, happy birthday, Gary. Hope you're listening. 83 years young. My mama will be 83 at the end of this month on July 31st. She turns 83. I was on the phone with her last night. I got to get to this Epstein story because I want you guys to hear David Schoen, the former attorney for Jeffrey Epstein. The president, the news story today is the president has authorized Pam Bondi to release the grand jury, some of the grand jury testimony on Epstein. Now, the process for this is the attorney general, despite being the top cop, has to go to a judge to get this okayed. And I don't know why the president is playing this so badly, because that ain't going to appease the influencers, or if in fact the MAGA crowd or the Trump supporters are as obsessed about this as the influencers. I'm not convinced of that. I'm really not. I am not convinced that Trump supporters in Des Moines are worried about the Epstein thing. Now, there are obviously holes in this thing. I think it's obvious that for whatever reason, the Trump administration is hiding things. Pam Bondi is a smart woman. She's showing her incompetence and her inability to be an attorney general on a large scale like this. She's the attorney general of Florida, but she's not a stupid woman. She's an attorney, and she wouldn't go on television and say, the list is on my desk if it wasn't. Please stand by. Deborah Leary. Thank you so much. Gary listens every day. Well, good. Thank you. Thank you. Are you guys watching? Have you prescribed? Have you subscribed to Chris?
Kern Radio. All you gotta do is go to YouTube. Just do it right there, search bar. Just put the little @ sign, and then Kern Radio. It will pop up right there.
And you can actually watch us do the broadcast. But happy birthday, Gary. So the president has allowed her to do that. Now, the reason it's not going to appease either the MAGA base or the influencers is because there's a lot of other stuff that was not grand jury testimony that the White House could release. And as I've stated, and I will say it until this whole thing is over, and when that is, nobody knows. But the way to make this thing go away, 3 words: release it all. It's that simple. It's that simple. It's that simple. And why they are going through this rigmarole. And now the Wall Street Journal came out with a story today where apparently back in 2003, long before Jeffrey Epstein was even accused of being a pedophile, Trump apparently sent him cartoons and love notes among friends. And he's quoted as saying in the New Yorker that he's a nice guy who likes younger women. Now, if Trump was aware that he was a pedophile, would he really go on record with the New Yorker magazine and say that he's into younger women? Really? That would be like me being a secret dope dealer and Chris Burdick going on the radio and saying, Ralph loves that weed. I'm just saying. Would he say that if he knew I was a dope dealer? Would he really? That's kind of a kooky analogy, I know, but I find it hard to believe that if he knew that he was a pedophile, he'd even go anywhere near saying something like, and he likes younger women. And any connection to Trump on this is absurd. But there are still questions about how he died. Remember, Michael Baden, who is a very well-respected pathologist, thinks he was murdered. Here is Jeffrey Epstein's attorney, David Schoen.
There is no Epstein client list, that I can tell you, that lists names of people who he purportedly took to an island with young girls or any place else with young women. I can assure you he would have used that to his advantage if there were. And I can assure you the accusers who were involved in those situations, if they were involved with fill in the blank, some famous person, they would have sued by now. Their lawyers are very aggressive and have made millions off of those lawsuits.
That is the most logical explanation that I have ever heard. Did you hear what he said? Let me paraphrase what he said. If Ralph Bailey is on that, if I'm busted for pedophilia and I've got a list of Kern County folks that I used to party with and that I used to turn on to teenagers, Donnie Youngblood, Greg Terry, Cynthia Zimmer, David Couch. These are all people I like, so I can name them so they won't get mad, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm about to be prosecuted. You're going to tell me that I wouldn't use that leverage? Hey, give me 2 years and I'll name everybody that I turned on to. You really believe that Jeffrey Epstein went into that situation and just said, well, I'll just roll the dice and I'm going to go to prison and I'm going to protect Bill Clinton and Prince Andrew, whoever else might be on this list? And do you really think there is a list? Do you really think he kept a documented list of people that he hung out with? Which makes it even more mysterious as to why the president just won't do what I say. Release it all. 3 words. And if you think this mock, I've given her the right to give away the grand jury testimony, is going to appease the influencers, Charlie Kirk will be on in about 15 minutes, or Megyn Kelly, or any of you done lost your mind. You done lost your mind. Here's more from Epstein's attorney.
I specifically asked him about Donald Trump, and he was adamant in making clear that he had no bad information about Trump. Remember, Trump had thrown him out of his club years earlier. He wasn't happy about the idea of Trump being falsely accused because Trump was one of the names being thrown around then.
You guys know my theory. I think he was a spy. I think he was a spy either for the Israeli government or for our CIA. And there are things in these documents that implicate the CIA, perhaps, or maybe we don't want to know that Epstein was working for the Israelis while palsing around with major American citizens. Ehud Barak, former prime minister, was one of the guys that hung out with Epstein big time. That's my guess. And it's only a guess. And it's just absolute sheer speculation based on absolutely no facts. So I probably shouldn't have even said it, but that's my guess. If we're all going to sit around and speculate on this thing, and when it goes away, I have no idea. It's just ridiculous. Final break of the week. Juicy burger? I probably should stay away from red meat. I had Chick-fil-A last night. I'm not feeling it. What are you guys having for dinner?
I'm having a burrito on my way to the beach.
Daisy, what are you having for dinner?
I've been obsessed with Victor's lately.
Fantastic.
Ooh, the Mexican joint? That's right near me.
Yes, it is. It's fantastic.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It's actually the burrito I'm eating later.
A little Mexican food on a Friday night wouldn't be bad.
Right. They are very well priced.
And I think, oh, is it expensive?
No. I mean, like fairly.
Oh, it's fair? Oh. And I bet they're on Uber Eats. I'll check during the break. They are? You know that for a fact? Ooh. La comida es español anoche. My pidgin Spanish. Final break of the week. Keep it locked. Charlie Kirk at the top of the hour. Monday, Kathy Abernathy will be here. We'll have a British Open champion. And the second half of the MLB season will be fastly underway. It's the Ralph Bailey Show right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. And we're streaming live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Monday edition, Clay Travis, Buck Sexton Show. We dive into the ongoing drama about what spending cuts may be taking place in Congress, plus the ongoing fallout of, I dare to call Epstein Gate. We will break down the hall. The absolute play is there, and more. It will be a great start to your Monday after what's hopefully a fun weekend. Come hang with us on Clay and Buck.
Live 9 to noon. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
This is a special notice to U.S. taxpayers owing $10,000 or more to the IRS. Tax Relief Advocates is urgently notifying taxpayers that tax relief initiatives are now available that may significantly reduce or eliminate what you owe. If you're afraid of an IRS lien, levy, or wage garnishment, don't lose hope. You can now take advantage of these current relief programs to end all collections, reduce the amount you owe, and resolve your tax problem. Even if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are already in a payment plan, you may still qualify for significant relief. Struggling taxpayers can now get relief they need during these hard economic times. A hotline has been established by Tax Relief Advocates for you to call and see what you qualify for. They are A+ rated with the BBB and have over 1,000 5-star
Promos.
Caramel.
You ready? 3, 2. I don't care what anybody says. I think Oral's 88 season is the best season any player's ever had. And proof in the pudding. I'm not going to get through all the innings that he pitched, the 15 complete games, the 23 wins, the ERA. No player in the history of baseball has ever won the National Championship Series MVP, the Cy Young, and the World Series MVP in one season. Mic drop. 3, what do we got? No Jeet. Kathy, British Open. Anything else going on this weekend?
Not really.
Yeah. You ready? 3, 2. It's that man again. Look what's coming up on the Monday TRBS. Well, it's a Monday. Kathy Abernathy will be here. We'll talk about the Epstein files, I'm sure. And we'll have a British Open champion. And I'm predicting that it's going to be Scotty Scheffler. Really going out on a limb there. The Monday TRBS right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KRN. I'll see you Monday.
So you get the perfect combination of style and function. We work with top quality American-made cabinet brands like Waypoint, Diamond, Medallion to ensure long-lasting beauty and craftsmanship. If you're ready to turn your vision into reality, let's design something amazing together. Call Stockdale Kitchen and Bath at 661-834-3333 or visit StockdaleKitchenandBath.com today. Stockdale Kitchen and Bath. Beautiful cabinetry, smart design.
You're listening to The Ralph Bailey Show. Catch me weekday morning 6 to 9 a.m. on First Look with Scott Cox, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
The most recent funny chat room edition. I look shorter on video. I'm sitting. I'm 5'11". I'm all of 5'11". Well, at my age, I'm probably 5'10". You start to shrink as you get older. And the only parts of your body that get bigger are your nose, which has gotten bigger in my old age. I used to have a cute little Myrna Loy nose when I was a kid. Now I'm starting to get a little Magic Johnson nose. My nose is starting to spread. And your ears get bigger when you get older. Those are about the only things that really grow. In fact, I love this man, so don't text me and say I'm bagging on him. But John Wooden, the great UCLA coach, lived to be like, well, let's find out. I think he was about 100. Hey, Siri, how old was John Wooden? He was 99. I was a year off. He was 99 years old. And at the end of his life, he looked like Dumbo. He looked like he could fly. His earlobes were touching his jaw. I'm just saying. He looked ridiculous. Let's clear the board and get the Sam Hill out of here.
I love when Ralph gives relationship advice.
Yeah, it is kind of ridiculous, isn't it? Well, I always preface it with do as I say, not as I do, because anybody that would be stupid enough to take advice from a failed relationship guy like me, whose longest relationship in 4 decades has been 4.5 years, you would be stupid. Stupid. 1 4.5 years, 1 3.5 years, and that's about as long as my relationships have ever been. Lori booted me right when I first started working here. No, I'm not good at relationships. No, I'm not. Just not. What else you got?
The pitcher is the best athlete in small schools and in grade school, little league, but not high school or college. I argue that for high school.
I would too. I would absolutely disagree. In high school,
shortstop and pitcher are still usually
the same guy, and he's the best hitter on the ball club. He's the third hitter. The first baseman is normally a big guy. He's the cleanup hitter, and the catcher is normally the fifth hitter. The center fielder is normally the leadoff guy because he's a fast black kid. And well, it used to be, not anymore. It's more probably Cuban or Dominican. But no, I totally disagree with that. Maybe in college, but that's where the transition begins. That's where they tell you, we don't want you hitting. I don't care you hit 666 in high school. We don't want you hitting. So that is the point that I was trying to make, that we don't explore and let these guys hit. Fernando was a great hitter. Like I said, Oro went 3 for 3 in a World Series, and 2 of those hits were doubles. These guys are not bad. I mean, by definition, these guys cannot be bad athletes. They're professionals. They do it for a living. Are you kidding me? Come on. That's what I'm saying. People make statements like that, and they've never been around pro athletes, and they never really comprehend just how incredible these guys are, and the small difference between a really good collegiate athlete and a college athlete that can get to the pros, because it's a small margin, and it's mostly, in my opinion, it's about heart and character and who takes 500 shots every single day and shoots 300 free throws every single day. You know, those are the guys that make it. Some of the guys that have that talent shoot 500 jump shots once or twice a week. You know, Kobe wakes up at 5 o'clock in the morning, woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and shot 500 shots every single day. If you listen to Larry Bird talk about his experience, he would wake up and not want to shoot, and he would say to himself, I bet Magic's shooting today. I bet Magic's in a gym right now. And that would motivate him to get up and shoot. That's the difference. Some guys rely on their talent, and the champions and superior athletes realize that they have enormous talent, and they also realize they've got to put in enormous amount of work as well. One more, and I don't care what happens, I'm going home.
This person has chimed in with the first Goosebumps movie with Jack Black. My daughter was about 5, and completely lost it. Hysterical crying at the end when JB's daughter faded away. I won't spoil the end, but it was rough for a few minutes.
I'm not a Jack Black guy.
Love Jack Black.
How did I know that? If you had not chimed in, I was going to say, I bet you're you too, huh?
He's an American treasure. I will die.
Oh my God. Youth is wasted on the young. I don't get it. I don't get the guy trying to be John Candy, or not John Candy, Chris Farley. I don't get it.
Lovable oaf.
He really is. He really is an oaf. That part I'll agree with. One more, I guess.
The final scene of the Green Berets, when Ham Sung runs helicopter and the helicopter looking for Peterson.
I can't remember Green Beret. I've seen it a couple of times. It's the John Wayne picture that John Wayne produced on his own. Hollywood didn't want to do it because it was one of the few pro-Vietnam pictures. All I remember, Jim Hutton, I think is the guy that he's alluding to, that dies. And of course, Jim Hutton, who died young as well, is the father of Timothy Hutton, who was a kind of a big star. He's the kid, the teenager in Ordinary People. He was in The Falcon and the Snowman with Sean Penn, a couple of Palos Verdes kids. who sold out to the Russians. That's an absolute true story. That's going to do it for us. Hope you have a great weekend. Join us on Monday for Daisy. What's your last name, Daisy?
Canal.
For Daisy Canal and Chris Burdick, I'm Ralph Bailey. That's what's really going on. Have a great weekend. I'll wrap you on Monday.
This is AM 1180 KERN Green Acres. This is 96.1 FM Bakersfield. Online at KERNradio.com.
Breaking news this hour from
Woo!
I'm Keith Peters in Washington. There's been a frightening accident in Westport, New York.
A man was pulled into an MRI machine in New York after he walked into the room wearing a large chain necklace. A 61-year-old man had entered an MRI room while a scan was underway at Nassau Open.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
A strong magnetic force drew him into the machine by his metallic necklace. Police said the incident resulted in a medical episode.
Have a great weekend. Thanks for listening and watching.
I'm Haya Punjwani.
President Trump
And I'll see you on Monday.
lawsuit against the Wall Street Journal and media mogul Rupert Murdoch a day after the newspaper published a story reporting on his ties to wealthy financier Jeffrey Epstein.